welcome folks to the final round of the ERA Sunday Championship of 2026. Well, that's our first season here in 2026, and what better way to end a tight championship across 3 different divisions and the team championship at a circuit that literally makes or breaks careers. A circuit that creates fear and excitement at the same time. Welcome to Mount Panorama. Welcome to the Down Under, and welcome to Australia here at ERA. And this is going to be our circuit to battle it out. Opened in 1938, has claimed the lives of drivers, cars, and riders across time. Literally, turn 1 is called Hell's Corner because there was a tree in the middle of it, till eventually cut down before the early 2000s. Quarry Bend into the cutting, always a difficult run before you head to Solomon Park, McPhillammy Park, and the dreaded Skyline. You make your way down the mountain, through the Dipper, into the Forest Elbow, charging down the Hanger Straight, through the Chase, and into Murray's Corner. This 6.2 kilometer circuit with 23 corners that you don't really think it has 23 corners will be home to our finale. And taking a look at our drivers getting ready to head out onto the circuit. We've got Christian Finger out on track, and let's talk about our Gold Championship because there's a lot to talk about here as it is all in line. Lewis Knight is leading the championship on 72 points, with David Young and Nicholas Porras in third place. David Young on 70 points with Lewis Knight on 72. Both have utilized their drop round and need to make it work. This chap over here, Christian Fingler, was the one driver that went and forced the championship into the final round. He's hoping to once again get a victory, but is going to make things a little bit harder. Ulrich de Jager is looking to move forward in the championship as well for his final run in the first season of 2026. And he's running a little bit down in 6th position. He's trying to get ahead of Richard van Heerde, who is not here tonight. And there is a reason why Richard van Heerde is not here, and that is this past weekend he was racing at Desi Raceway out in South Africa and had quite a nasty accident. He's okay, bit bruised, bit worn out, but that is the reason he's forced to take this as a drop round. So speedy recovery, Richard. We look forward to seeing you back on the circuit. That's going to allow Ulrich de Jager to move forward and see what he can do. Benjamin Till, a little bit further down, Dr. Bean Till. It's the altered ego of Benjamin Till. This is the one that when he puts the mask on, it's game, set, match, is out on circuit. Also looking to move forward with Team Wolf. Lewis Knight, who is looking to claw for his championship. We'll keep an eye out on the rest of the field. Nicholas Porras out on circuit. Finley Gamble and David Young rounding out towards the bottom. Finn van Holland, our final Porsche of the Gold Division. Now it's a bit smaller here, but it's not gonna be over. Drivers now needing to really move forward. A massive, massive welcome to all our virtual grandstands out there. We got Ryan Heineke, we got Chanteler, we've got Sky, we've got Antonio Gamble. A massive, massive welcome to every single one of you. The absolute legends to the land of Down Under. Christian Fengler, currently top of the charts with a 203.7. Finn van Holland in second place. David Young rockets up to first. Remember, he is 2 points off, walking away as a gold champion here at ERA and moving up in towards the platinum. He's got to try and keep it all together. Nicholas Porras is also looking to stay in for the fight. Ulrich de Jager, Christian Fingler, Finn van Holland, Benjamin Till, all able to get a time on the board. Lewis Knight down into third as we do see the 2ID coming through. And what a way to say good luck for our drivers. Finley Gamble in the 2ID Ferrari looking to move forward and really going and displaying for the team. And not often you get to see the 2ID teams in terms of full flight. Finley Gamble has been the solo in that team racing here in ERA, and it's wonderful to have him here. David Young makes his way through McPhillamy Park into Skyline, in through the left-hander. Got to be so careful. And now charging his way down through the S's, gearing all the way towards the Dipper. And what we're going to try and do is when they come around, we're going to hop on board and see the circuit from their perspective as a driver with our in-car camera. But David Young really on a climb right now. David Young trying to keep ahead of Lewis Knight for the championship. It is so close in the gold. And don't even count out our third place, Nicholas Boris. He's sitting with 48 points, with Patrick Bells sitting on 46 points. Richmond Heed, unfortunately, not here tonight due to what I said. And he was on 43 points. Ulrich Diaga on 35. Finn Van Holland on 31. Darren Christie not here tonight with 28 points. Chris Haneke on 25. Aaron Schigel is sitting on 22, tied with Finley Gamble. Christian Fingler on 19 points, looking to move forward in the championship into the top 10. So this is going to be a wild one for each of our drivers, looking to stay at the sharp end of the field. And I see Jason Farmer also giving a bit of a shout out to his team, and we'll be watching as everyone gives it everything they can. So, as David Young makes his way through, let's go to a helmet cam as he tails on to the Porsche ahead, trying to really close down the difference between them and see how it's going to work out. Down through the gears, in through second, climbing up the hill they go. Really trying to get that little bit further up here at Mount Panorama, and never an easy thing. So they start making their way towards the top. The steering lightens up. The tail starts to come out. And you've just got to keep your foot firmly in it to just try and keep that drive and not to go and lose it as you go down the hill, trying to balance braking and throttle into the Dipper. A little jump as the steering goes light underneath you. Accelerating down the hill is all about being brave. We know this corner all too well from earlier this year. I've heard Merck going into a Porsche, landed up with a guy with a broken back in Forest Elbow. Everyone knows all too well. But down the Conrad Straight they go. It's all about keeping throttle. But for those that have a bit of a keen eye, take a look at the windscreen wiper. It always lands up moving. In the majority of the cars, you'll see this thing bouncing around. It'll drive you insane. Now you know about it. You'll never unsee it. But through our final section, second gear, feathering the throttle through, and he's just giving a bit of room. So David Young said he's not going up on that one. He just gave a little bit of room to see if he can get a flat out lap as they come through the final corner. Turn 1 is going to be Hell's Corner with 1 minute and 28 seconds to go. Drivers still have a lot to go and put on the performance here in our gold division before we release our platinums to head out onto the circuit. Nicholas Boris going and pushing as hard as he can up into second place, considering fighting for first here. He's got Lewis Knight, who hasn't been able to improve. Now behind him, Christian Fingler and Ulrich Diaga trying to go that little bit further. Finn Van Holland, Benjamin Till, they've all managed to get times on the board. The only driver that hasn't been able to get a time on the board is Finley Gamble. He is the only driver that's put a wheel wrong and hasn't been able to get a time sufficient on the board to see it through. So always a concern to be starting too far back on this one. David Young absolutely giving it horns as he's even quicker than Tim the cameraman, making his way through Skyline, now heading towards the Dipper into second gear, curves round and floors it on the exit, trying to charge down the hill, aiming towards Forest Elbow, really giving it everything he's got. In through the left-hander, can he keep it all together? He's up on his time. So is Christian Fingler and Ulrich Diaga. Christian up by 0.3, Ulrich Diaga up by 0.8 with his BMW M4 GT3. It's not the Evo, it's the previous one, and he's looking to put himself on the podium. Christian Fingler 0.4 up as he rounds the final corner. Can it work for the Track Tools team? Christian Fengler up to second place, managing to leapfrog Nicholas Porras. Ulrich de Jager charging down the Conrad Straight, up 0.8. Finn van Holland around the final corner does keep an eye on who's going to be able to beat him out, and he comes across the line in 6th position. Ulrich de Jager 0.8 up. David Young, Christian Fingler, Nicholas Porras, Lewis Knight in 4th. Ulrich de Jager could be the dark horse here. Ulrich de Jager going to be rounding the final corner. If he can just get it right, it will be the first time he's qualified first in ERA for the gold division, and the Griffith Sim Racing driver missed out so narrowly. He will start in 2nd next to David Young. Oh, so close. A 201.680. Ulrich de Jager, 201.690. Nearly set his first time pole position in the gold division here at ERA. Milestone, Henry Platt, Martin Spritzer, and Daniel Mutsuma out on circuit. Flo Scubb will be waiting in pit lane to get himself sorted out. But let's talk about our Platinum division, because it's Milestone who's currently ahead of the championship with 64 points. Henry Platt in 2nd on 55 points. Chris Wall, 3rd place on 54 points. Ricky Buckler is on 53 points. Sebastian Luxon on 47. Daniel Mutsuma on 44. Paul Fenter on 42. We did get word why Paul Fenter is not here tonight, and that is because he's managed to drive from Brits all the way back, only arriving back at his house this morning at about 2 o'clock, and is absolutely shattered. He can't get into the rig without wanting to fall asleep. So he said rather, instead of binning a person's race, he's going to cheer from the sidelines. Martin Spritzer and Neil Cabal, along with David Roth, round out the field. But Milestone, Henry Platt, Chris Wall, all fighting it out. We know Chris Wall is on holiday, so he will not be able to fight for the top of the cars. But that means Milestone and Henry Platt are gonna go nose to nose against one another, looking to really fire their way back towards the top. Henry Platt, making his debut here in ERA, has turned around and said he wants to win this. He wants to be at the top. But let's have a chat to one of our Gold Division drivers that was out on circuit, Christian Fengler. And let's get him all mic'd up and see if we can bring Christian to come and have a chat to us after the qualifying. Christian, welcome to the commentary box. How was it out on the mountain thus far for qualifying? 3rd place in the Gold Division.
I gotta be honest, it was up and down, like a roller coaster ride. Emotionally, you were looking at the weather conditions, kind of like praying, nothing mixed, nothing damp, just static rain or dry. And then you're going out fast pace. I'm like, okay, cool, I got this. Just get your mind in and you know, like, go. And I was told from one of my teammates, like, straight away, okay, it's optimum now. I was like, fuck, I've trained all week, but I've never seen the conditions of optimum, so this was a new one. Well, quite happy with it. P3 is quite good, I want to say. Times are looking all right. And I beat out Lewis Knight, which he won't be happy about, but I think he will be even less happy about Young being in front of him.
And I think come the race, you're not going to play favorites. You're in for the final win for the season and really trying to launch your way through. Now, take us through the mountain as a driver. We take a look at some of the drivers really giving it everything they can. But for those sitting on the grandstands that haven't gotten to experience the drive at Bathurst, how is it as a sim racer to climb up a circuit that brings both excitement and fear? It favors the brave, but will punish those that just think they're too good.
Well, you said it quite rightly. It's like a dance on the knife's edge. I mean, you come down Mount Stray, which is the first straight, it's all good. You come into the first corner and it's still all settled and cool. But the moment you come close to this Audi corner, the Audi ditch, it just gets mental. It's You do nothing else. You have to be there mentally at 100% capability. Otherwise, you might crash it, and you really have to listen into your car, because if got ever-changing conditions, today will be extremely difficult with the mixed conditions through the mountain, because you're really struggling to find the right amount of grip that fits your tire wear, that fits your fuel load, and that counts in the wet conditions or dry conditions. So every lap is different, and yeah, it gets double nervous, like you're not breathing from entry to exit of the mountain. At least it feels like, because you're so focused on purely driving and trying to survive. But it gets even worse the moment rain comes in, and that is something that's absolutely overlooked. In the mountain, you depend so much on visual clues that are very close to you on the walls. And with the spray coming up, you see nothing. So that is a whole different story of driving, and then add on top that we're driving into the night. This is probably one of the hardest races we have ever done in the history of ERA.
And now we've got to also talk about what's in the room right now. Championships on for the last. You've had the moment of going into the final race, fighting for a championship a couple of seasons ago. What goes through the mind of drivers like Milestone, Henry Platt, Lewis Knight, Christoph Peterson, just so many looking to capture the title, but when it comes down to a win or a loss at this circuit can make or break that championship, there is only one thing to do, and that is to be the first car across the line. What goes through the mind of these drivers? Because that just sounds like pressure from all sides.
100%. The pressure basically starts on Monday when you hit the track for the first time, and you don't really allow yourself to get too much of a breather, because you're always so tense and trying to, like, be one step ahead of your opponent. So testing and training is, to any extent you can do, is the best you can do. And at the same time, quite often, especially on a track like Panorama, you depend so much on what's going on the track. Are there crashes? Are there spins? You can do so much mathematics, and trust me, probably all of them have done it. Like, if I be P2 and they are P4, I'm still winning. So at least I need point gap of 2 or 3 points, and only then I'm winning, or, such spectacles. But the safest bet is always, obviously, to try to push for the lead instead of hoping that the other might have a misstep.
And with this being the final race for the ERA Sunday Championship for this season, there is also quite a bit going along in the background. Can you give us a bit of an insight of what's happening here at ERA? Just for a bit of excitement, we do know about the Masters Series that's around, the Drive for Dean charity race that's coming up later this year. There is just so much to go and say, come be a part of the community.
Yeah, 100%. We're obviously heading into the season break, so if you're looking to join ERA, this is not probably the best moment to do so, because you can focus on your license purely. There will be some fun races, but the motorsport of highlights will be the Master Series, which is an invitational league where we have a part where a split where people qualify throughout a bunch of events, and the others are former winners of different divisions. And this is going to be a 7-round championship split up across a bunch of months with different race lengths. Almost every race is mixed with different or varying rain percentage. And there will be reverse grid races. There are some cup races in there. So it's really an absolute test of the driver skill to jump around with strategy and really adjust for so many situations. This is also the first series that we will ever race for physical trophies. So I think that there's a lot in there. And the field I've looked through the signups is looking very competitive. I'm really looking forward to a bunch of interesting fights. This also brings along the long gone pitcast, because I just want to use the time while I'm not driving to perhaps inform others on what was going on the last races, some background stories about the drivers, some strategy talk with some of them or other drivers or members for the next track, like what might be interesting or yeah, all such stuff. And then, as you said rightly, and a bit further ahead into May, we are looking to slowly gear up now for the Drive for Dean, our 12-hour endurance charity race on the Nordschleife. And so far, it's looking pretty good. Next week, there should come out a new article on overtake.gt. And on top of that, we have already 65 sign-ups. So that's quite something.
It's going to be absolutely incredible. And Christian, as we're into our diamonds out onto the circuit, anything you would like to say to the drivers, to the teams that are out on the circuit or watching from home, but those also our legendary petrol heads that have followed us all season long, cheering on each of the champions, cheering on each of the drivers, and just being part of the ERA lifeblood here in the ERA Sunday Championship.
I would say be proud of yourself that you've made it this far. For everyone that is driving today, it's one of the toughest challenges you can face yourself with, be it a season closer or not. And cheers for everyone watching on, supporting the drivers, be it family members, friends, or so on. This means more to us than we probably can really put into words, but having somebody really genuinely cheer for you is an absolute cool feeling. So keep that up, and without your support, it wouldn't be what we're doing.
Absolutely wonderful. And I've got a message here from Rich Van Heed. He's at home after having a bit of an accident in racing this past weekend, saying it's a bit of a blow not on the grid tonight. Looking forward to seeing some great racing and who is going to be in the farm. So good luck to all. So a bit of words coming from the South African, and despite bruised and just a little bit bent, nothing broken, just on the bruising side, going and supporting everyone out there, and thought to share the words with you. And it's one of the main heads here of ERA, Christian.
Yeah, well, get well soon, because we hope to see you in the Masters League. And I'll jump off now, rejoin my team, and just all the best to everybody participating.
Good luck. Thank you, Christian Fengler, going and putting himself right into the fight. Third place in the gold at the moment, out on the grid. So Milestone, Henry Platt, Martin Spritzer line up the top three for our Platinum division. Then we got Flo Scub and Daniel Mitsuma. Flo in a bit of a tribute livery, as he's going to be saying farewell to Assetto Corsa Competizione full-time. He's going to be participating, but not as full-time as he is, but he's going more for a Le Mans Ultimate, and it's good to see that he's got a special livery for the Las Pantos Hermanos. Christoph Peterson, Rern Heineke, Bego Krobler, Jason Farmer, Sean Skitter, Rafa Sosa, and Ernest Limburgs, along with Darius making his return. Now, let's talk about this Diamond Championship, because Christoph Peterson is looking to become a 9-time champion. He is leading by a single point ahead of Rafa Sosa, and with Ernest Limburgs in third place on 79 points. It's a three-way fight for the Diamond win. Christoph wants to win it, but he's also looking forward to the field coming at him. Steve Milana, Jane, Sean Skitter run 4th and 5th, with Sean Skitter 40 points and Steve Milana James sitting on 44 points. Bagel Krobler on 38, ahead of Jason Beebe on 32. Ben Hicks, who's not on the grid tonight, is on 28 points. Rern Heineke, Jason Farmer, Darius, Mike Musa, and Michael Castro rounding out the pack, with Christoph Peterson at the top of the charts with a 2-minute 0.5. So close to a sub 2 minutes. Rafa all the way out from Brazil, looking to take the Predator to the top, stalking his prey, will be looking to charge his way through. Ernest Limburgs, a driver that has been in this situation before, where it's make or break for a championship, and lost out to his teammate Christoph Peterson, will want to make it work here tonight to charge his way into the record books. Darius on his return, now looking to really take the fight to the sharp end of the field, we'll have Jason Farmer going and battling his way through. Jason in the Ferrari. Now, I do think this will be the last time he'll be in the Ferrari 296, as he's been transitioning over to the Lexus V8 and is hoping to really make it stick. Johan Bego Grobler from Team Wolf in 13th position, wanting to really take the fight to Christoph Peterson and the rest of the field. Ruben Heineke has been having an absolute ball in ACC and is looking to take the Griffin Sim Racing team to the top. And Sean Skitter, Logistical Nightmare Racing, hasn't got his teammate around to go and chat to on circuit, but he is looking to be the skitty that stays at the top. He's in 16th position at the moment with that 2 minutes 0.5, getting beaten out by Christoph, a 2 minute 0.027. As he comes across the line, Rafa, improvement, a 2 minute 0.630, 0.6 of a second off Peterson's time. Milestone holds on to third at the moment, while Ernest Limburg separates the battle with Henry Platz. Darius jumps up to fourth place on a stellar run with a 2 minute 0.9. Limburg's trying to carry as much momentum through. Jason Farmer, 0.1 up on his time, looking to make it come to fruition to be at the top 5. Here comes Limburg's 0.2 up. He's up into third place and still within a chance to fight it out here for the final round. And it's going to be a great one. Crazy Stunts going and saying, how's it from the virtual grandstands? Absolutely wonderful to have all our drivers, teams, and fans cheering on. Might not be on the circuit, but most certainly keeping an eye on the racing and looking to celebrate the champions here tonight of who stands at the top. Remember, the fastest lap in the race gets you a single point. Plus, you've got to make sure you stand at the top, maximizing your points. So, whoever wins, Peterson, likes of Lewis Knight, and going down to Henry Platt, looking to try and move their way forward. Milestone wanting to capture the victory as well. He's been close for the Platinum division. Now has an opportunity to be a top runner. Darius 0.2 up on his time. Limburg's 0.2 up on his time. Jason Farmer 0.3 up on his time. And Sean Skitter is 0.5 up on his time. Pushing that little bit more. Seeing how it's all going to work out for him. Skitter goes out a bit wide through the forest elbow, but 0.6 up on his time. Rafa, no improvement as he gently comes across and stops. He's unable to improve and will wait on the front row unless Limburgs has anything to say about it. He's 0.1 up on his time. So is Darius, who comes up towards the line. Bego comes across, and it will be Darius who sits in fourth position. Limburg's 0.2 up on his time. Can he carry the momentum to work it out through the final corner? Flat on the gas all the way through. Limburg's trying to get onto the front row as he blasts across the line. No improvement. He will be starting on the second row unless he could get a time on the board that will work out. 1 minute and 11 seconds as Skitter says, nope, he's done on this one. Johan Bego Grobler towing Darius along as the two trying to move themselves forward to try and get in towards that top 5. Not to be caught behind Milestone and Henry Platt and Mon Spritzer, who are fighting it out for the championship in the Platinum. They want to get ahead of them and take the fight straight to Darius, Limburgs, Sosa, and likes of Christoph Peterson, who's looking to become the 9-time champion here in ERA for the ACC GT3 ERA Sunday Championship. And we heard there is so much coming here at ERA with the Masters Series, with endurance racing, and even with our pitcast, where you get to chat about motorsport, sim racing, getting to know the drivers, the people behind the helmets, behind the curtains, and giving you that bit of an inside look behind the league. Absolutely incredible stuff. And gotta say, really, really looking forward to it. Maybe I can get an invite to the Masters League. I tend to talk a lot. I'm a master at talking lots. Nope, that could be just verbal diarrhea. But Christoph Peterson, Rafa Sosa, Ernest Limburgs will hold on to third. Darius unable to improve as you see him go straight on. Bego Frobler, last of the cars, on circuit, looking to make it work for him. Can he move out of 9th position as he rounds the final corner? Just a little bit unsteady and unfortunately not able to improve. Wow, oh wow, folks. This is it. The final round of the season for the ERA Sunday Championship. And it's here at the legendary Bathurst Mount Panorama in Australia. And as you heard from the likes of Christian Fingler saying that this is the first time it's going to be incredibly difficult for the final round, that drivers are giving it their absolute all, that the track is at optimum and not just sitting with a problem of rain or such, but also to take a little bit of a chat. This is an hour and 30 minutes worth of racing. With 2 mandatory pit stops the drivers are going to have to contend with. The first time in this season, we have got a spin on how the race is going to go. And let's head down to the grid as drivers are starting to get ready with their final preparations. And there it is, folks. Peterson, Sosa on the front row. And if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome to Evolution Racing Academy. And welcome to our final round of the Sunday Championship for the season. Season 17. It has been an incredible one. And 3 championships are up for grabs amongst drivers. Our diamond, platinum, and gold are on the line. And drivers are at the ready. Now, if it's your first time going and seeing this, let me take you through what the penalties you're seeing on the side. Here at ERA, we don't want to see people running away, just disappear off into the distance. So we like to challenge, make you think outside the box here. We take you back to school where you got to put a bit of math through that brain. If you came first in the last race, you get a 15 seconds success penalty that you need to serve in your pit stop. So that will be the first pit stop. You get it done, dusted, out, and carry on racing. If you came second, you got 10 seconds. And if you came third, you got 5 seconds. So Christoph Peterson came third in the last round, has got 5 seconds to contend with. Ratha, who came first, has got 15 seconds. Limburgs, unfortunately, wasn't in the top 3, but now has a clear run straight through to the end to try and capitalize at the top. Darius in 4th place. Milestone came first in the last race. He's got 15 seconds to contend with. Bego Krobler has got 10 seconds to contend with. Now, moving further down into our gold division, Ulrich Diaga has got 5 seconds that he needs to sort out. He came third. David Young's got 10 seconds. And Christian Fengler, who took the victory, forcing the gold championship to come down to the final round, has got 15 seconds he needs to contend with to move up through the order. Daniel Mutsuma has got 5 after coming third in the platinum division. Now, drivers at the ready, trying to work out the final little bit. This is randomly generated weather, randomly generated everything. There was no way of planning out how this race is going to go. So setups were built to pretty much handle anything. There is no dry optimal setup that these cars have got. They've got pretty much something that can handle rain, wind, shine, and also cold. And now they're sitting on a 28-degree circuit with the sunshine here in Australia of 24 degrees Celsius. So just enough to ensure that you have that sunscreen on so you don't be turned into a lobster because you're not quite a pop star. But Christoph Peterson, Rafa Sosa currently hold on to the front row. Ernest Limburgs will line up against Darius, who will look to try and get ahead of all 3 drivers. Now, Darius is not in the championship, but there is no rule that they can fight. He can't fight it out. We're getting a bit of word that Farmer had a disconnect mid-quali. So that is one of the reasons why he was so far down. That from Antonio Gamble. So a big shout out to Miss Gamble for letting us know about Jason Farmer. But it's good to see that he still managed to put himself in 6th place and is first of the South Africans out there, and he is lined up with likes of Henry Platt as our drivers start their pace lap. Now for the final time for season 17, where you get those butterflies running around your stomach. You're starting to get all the thoughts in your head, the what if situations. You've got to put it all behind you. Tighten up those belts, take a breath, and start to think about the race and what you need to do to stay at the top. Who is going to walk away a champion here at ERA for season 17 and for the final time of season 17? Let's take a look through our grid, because ERA Sunday Championship first place at Bathurst is going to be Christoph Peterson. Starting out on pole, will be fighting out against Rafa Sosa. Championship brawl, the Predator looking to take down the King. Ernest Lindbergh's in third place. The Fear the Bones driver is looking to take the Pirate Sword, take his ship, and conquer the entire ERA seas. Darius holds on for fourth place, looking to play the Joker card amongst the pack. Miles Stone looking to take America to the top in the Red Bull colors and looking to walk away with the platinum victory. Jason Farmer for Griffin Sim Racing will be moving his way forward, trying to catch up to the rest of our Diamond division. Henry Platt on his debut outing here at ERA for the championship, and as his final outing in this Bentley for the Moscow team, looking to take the fight to Milestone. Modern Spritzer Track Tool team is really dialing things in and willing to put the screws into the championship to move forward. Bago Krobler howling to life for Team Wolf in 9th place, with Sean Skitter. Logistical Nightmare Racing has got things all planned out to the T. David Young looking to make sure that his victory is assured in the gold division, and he is next to Ulrich de Jager from the Griffin Sim Racing team. Ruin Heineke looking to back up his teammates a little bit further back. Has got Christian Fengler from the Track Tool team looking to put the screws in to move forward. Nicholas Porras down in 15th position will take the Martini Porsche to the top, with Lewis Knight. The Good Smile Racing team now has got the bit between the teeth and definitely got the growl to chase for the championship. Flo Scub going and looking to give a proper send-off to his full time of here at Assetto Corsa Competizione in some special colours for the Los Pontos Hermanos team. Daniel Mutsuma will look to move forward with proper racing Yorkshire tea. Finn Holland in 19th position, with Benjamin Till and Finley Gamble round out our pack here tonight as drivers get themselves ready down the Conrad Straight. It is all or nothing, folks. This is gonna be the race of a lifetime. This is gonna set the pace, because the winners of the championships dictate how the racing for ERA is gonna go for 2026. Will it be Christoph carrying a 9-time champion, or will we see a new champion, a debut return, as Rafa was here many seasons ago, as we've heard, but now looking to walk away with the championship that he couldn't capture last time out? Nerves starting to build. Drivers at the ready, 70 kilometers an hour on the brakes, warming up the tires, 1 corner to go. And it's all or nothing, folks. Rounding the final corner. Eyes on towards the lights. Lights on, lights on, lights on. And lights off, and away we go racing for the final time. Christoph Peterson was able to get the jump off the line. Lindbergh's trying to put himself in the middle as Rafa runs out wide. It is clean through Hell's Corner. No one giving an inch, and side-by-side racing. Lindbergh's up into second. Rafa down into third, with Darius keeping the pressure on the back of him as they charge their way through towards the cutting. Jason Farmer dealing with Milestone, who's holding back the onslaught. Henry Platt, Mon Spritzer side by side as Platt trying to get the climb up. He does see Bego Grobler in the mirrors trying to make his way through. Spritzer tunnels right in behind Henry Platt, Bego Grobler, Sean Skitter as they all maneuver their way around. David Young, Ulrich Diaga, Christian Fengler all continuing on. Finley Gamble managing to get the run and unfortunately loses out to Finn van Hollen. Benjamin Till at the back of the field trying to get some heat into those tyres to move forward as they attack Skyline and now start making their way down the mountain in anger for the first time. It is going to be Milestone and Henry Platt who are keeping right on the back of one another. Modern Spritzer caught up in their Constantino's got Bego Grobler hunting for any sort of way to get on by. Remember, this is a very long race and drivers will need to consider their options on how far they're willing to go. Are they going to change tyres during the course of this race and how many times? You've got 2 pit stops to play with and still a lot on the line. Flow Cup keeping the pressure on Nicholas Porras at the moment as he looks towards the inside. No room to get on by yet. Nicholas, who is right behind Lewis Knight, who is fighting for the championship. Both Nicholas and Lewis Knight don't want to be caught out. And here comes Flow Cup, sends it down the inside as we do see a car off into the dirt. And that is Bego Grobler landing up into the dirt. And it looks like may have possible contact with the 29. So what on earth went on? Because that was not ideal. Bego up on the inside of Martin Spritzer and spears across into Miles Stone. Miles getting speared by Bego Grobler as he gets back, and we do see Benjamin Till going off circuit as well, but major damage to the likes of Bego Grobler, and it was a near miss for Henry Platt, but unfortunately Miles Stone got it in through the door and unfortunately landing up miles away from where he wanted to be. Sean Skitter and Martin Spritzer continue their way with David Young on the back of him. Christian Fengler, Lewis Knight, Flow Cup, Miles Stone trying to recover with damage to his car. He's going to be trying to pick up the pieces of his race with Nicholas Porras coming at him. I mean, that was a big impact, and the only way you could play a sound effect was just a RKO out of nowhere. Ulrich Diaga speeding in pit lane, got a stop-go 30-second penalty. He's going to need to serve on his next pit stop and will be considering his options of what needs to be done. Milestone behind Flow Scub at the moment, who is holding on to 3rd place in the Platinum Division. Henry Platt has got a lot of room to Martin Spritzer, and behind them we got Nicholas Porras, who's in 4th of the Gold Division with Finn van Holland on the back of him. They're trying to catch up to David Young, Christian Fengler, and Lewis Knight to hold the top 3 of our Gold Division. Darius keeps the pressure on Rafa at the moment. The two trying to work with one another to see how far they can move up through this race. Sean Skitter loses out under braking to Martin Spritzer, and now has David Young having a good look to see where he can clear on by as Christoph sets the fastest lap of the race. That means he has got 1 point underneath his belt unless someone is able to go quicker. Late on the brakes for Van Holland and Nicholas Porras, both trying to get the edge up on the Porsches, but it is Daniel Mutsuma all the way out from Japan who is closing up the distance between them. Look towards the inside line, couldn't quite get that pass done as yet, and continues on the charge. Bego Grobler out on circuit. Will keep an eye on the rearview mirrors as the field will start to close up behind him. Sean Skitter and Martin Spritzer fight it out for 6th and 7th, with David Young in 8th place, leading out his division at the moment. And if Fengler stays in 2nd place, that is firmly going to put it in favor of David Young to walk away with the championship ahead of Lewis Knight. But if David Young gets a little bit too excited, gets into the fight above him, and lands up getting thrown down the field, that is going to compromise him and take away the opportunity to become the gold champion. You can see he really lifts off a little bit through Skyline, lets the drivers go, and focuses on what he needs to do to keep the rhythm. Ulrich Diaga into pit lane, serving his stop-go 30-second and seeing where he can go. I mean, properly trying everything he can to move forward. But as everyone trying to keep themselves in check at the moment, no one giving an inch. So Christoph Peterson leads out the field, has opened up a 1.4 second gap to Limburg's. Rafa Souza holds on to third with Darius in fourth place. Henry Platt leads out the Platinum division with a near miss from Begor Grobler that took out his championship rival. Martin Spritzer holds on to second place, and he is also in for the fight of our Platinum, trying to move up through the order. He's 8th in the championship on 38 points, but is looking to try and put himself up into the top 5. Sean Skitter has got David Young and Christian Fengler in 9th. Lewis Knight in 10th position will be hunting to try and get past at the moment. Miles Stone, along with Flo Scub, Nicholas Boris, Finn Van Hollen, Daniel Mutsuma, Finley Gamble, Dr. Bean, also known as Benjamin Till, Jason Farmer, leading out ahead of his teammate Ruan Heineke in 19th position. Begor Grobler in 20th with Ulrich de Jager, who had to serve that stop-go 30-second penalty, now carrying on the way. We even take a look that likes the family of Ruan Heineke is watching on the TV, going and cheering him on. So Ruan Heineke getting support from the family saying go, 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 as he needs to really keep up the pace. He's done his first pit stop and will be focusing on what he needs to do, because there's 2 mandatory pit stops to deal with. 2 mandatory pit stops that the drivers will have to contend with. And so far, Farmer, Ruan Heineke, Grobler, and Ulrich de Jager are the only drivers that have done their first pit stop, and now are the marks of where you need to get into the pits. Flo Scub trying to lead out amongst the Porsches, got Nicholas Boris and Finn Van Hollen. The 992s continue on their charge with Van Hollen, Boris and Scub trying to close down the distance between them. Absolutely hammering it with the McLaren, the 720S Evo, coming on the back and seeing if it can get ahead of the Porker train that currently leads on. But it is now just a waiting game, as drivers not looking to push too hard. They're trying to plan out the strategies and look towards fueling. Who can lift and coast that little bit longer to work with, and who is the battles around. For Lewis Knight at the moment, Fengler is the target. Milestone is not of concern. He can let Milestone go if Miles is faster. But if Miles is not fast enough to get past Fengler, it's not worth it. Well, Miles got the better exit out of the final corner, and Lewis Knight, a little bit of a lift, dips down, and now will utilize the toe to try and catch up to Christian Fengler. Sean Skitter onto the back of Martin Spritzer. These two fighting out for overall track positions. Likes of Skitter is in the Diamond division, while Spritzer is in Platinum. 2 different classes here. The Platinum is essentially the Pro-Am class. Diamond is the Pro class, but let that not be one to go and shy away, because as you can see, our Platinums, Golds, all able to fight against the Diamonds very, very quickly. So Martin Spritzer just trying to keep it all together for the Track Tool team, and then very comfortable up climbing the mountain. Has got a lot of downforce on the car, mechanical grip coming into favor, and not worrying about straight line speed, as this circuit relies on 2 setups. Either you're going for top end speed, which is absolutely great, but you lose in the mountain, or you're going to focus on climbing up and down the mountain versus the top line speed and sacrifice 5 to 9 kilometers an hour down the straight, which leaves you a dead duck in the water. So this circuit does challenge the drivers on finding what works for them. Finley Gamble into the pit lane, and a bit of work being done to that car. That is not quite what I see for the 48 car. That wanting to try out something a little different, possibly to get the final stop, well, get the first stop out of the way, and see if he can push a little bit longer for the final stop. Begor Grobler climbs up into 19th position, as we do see Milestone gets the overtake on Christian Fengler, but into the dirt, trying to rejoin Christian around the outside, keeps his foot firmly planted. Lewis Knight goes for the pass on Milestone and aims to try and get it on the inside of Christian Fengler. Big dive, gets it done. Car-to-car contact Milestone comes in for the fight as well. And now it's a race down the way. Christian and Lewis Knight. The determination between these two at the moment. Lewis Knight wanting a clear pass. Milestone also going and sniffing the back bumper. Christian wanting to clear through has brought Flo, Nicholas and Finn van Hollen into the fight as well. And now we're starting to see quite a train building up at the back as Nicholas Porras trying to get the pass on Flo's Cup. Milestone waits it out. Flo goes out a little bit wide. Nicholas tries to get the drive on the inside. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for him. But now it's Finn van Hollen having a go at him and looking to also go for the inside lunge. And he does as they climb the mountain. Finn van Hollen gets the jump on Nicholas Porras, squeezes him to the wall. Nicholas loses time. Daniel Mutsuma now in for the fight as well. Incredible, incredible racing as drivers looking to go that little bit further and willing to risk it. Looking for the dives and looking to lick it and send it here on the mountain. Jason Farmer up into 17th position ahead of Benjamin Till and will continue on his climb. So for Jason Farmer, who sets the mark, we're looking to move forward. Will do everything he can as Finley Gamble, in the mountain. The 48 loses it at Skyline. Let's take a quick look at what happened here as he makes his way through McPhillamy Park in towards Skyline. Catching the curbs, running out wide, Ruin Heineke on the back of him. But that car, twitchy into the dirt, slides it around and impact into the wall. Heineke was able just to get the avoidance, but Finley Gamble getting his nose crunched. As we do see side-by-side action coming in from Finn van Hollen and Nicholas Porras, the two really leaning on each other a little bit hard here. Finn van Hollen managing just to gap ahead of Nicholas, and now Daniel Mutsuma looking to battle his way around. Daniel's not afraid to go elbow to elbow. We've seen this in the past as the squeeze being put on. Nicholas doing everything he can to try and hold position, but Daniel getting the leg up on the competition is able just to eke out ahead and continue on the drive. Milestone trying to charge his way through. Christian Fengler got the inside line as they start to climb the mountain, both leaning on each other as they start to make their way through. Christian Fengler had the mechanical grip to go and pull his way to the top ahead of Milestone. Lewis Knight is going to be happy to get a bit of breathing room at the moment away from Fengler and start focusing on his charge to David Young, who's 8 seconds up the road. Sean Skitter and Martin Spritzer continue the fight between one another for 6th and 7th at the moment. For Spritzer, he is 2nd in class. Henry Platt up the road from him. Skitter is for overall track position, and he is just looking to have a ton of fun out there. He's showing they can fight against the Diamond Division, and the Track Tool team have got that Milwaukee BMW set up and ready to go. It's on rails out there, but let's see, it's Sean Skitter in the Honda NSX GT3 car, the twin turbocharged 4-cylinder, looking to try and close up to the straight 6 turbocharged BMW ahead of him. Skitter trying to go late on the brakes, can't quite make it, and just has to wait it out that little bit more. Milestone looking to do exactly the same with a V6 turbocharged Ferrari to the BMW of Christian Fengler. Couldn't quite get that pass under braking. Tried to get a maximized exit. Going out wide. He's gonna be on the racing line, but not enough to get ahead of Christian Fengler. Both of them late on the brakes. Looks for the cutback. Tries to stand on the throttle early. Couldn't quite get it done. Christian holds a solid defense over Milestone, who looks towards the inside line. Remember, Milestone has to catch up to Spritzer and Platt further up the road. Flo Scub, who is in that orange Porsche behind, just keeps a very close eye on the back of him. Finley Campbell back into pit lane and getting himself sorted out after landing up in the weeds. Milestone trying to go around the outside of Christian Fengler, puts the pressure on. Didn't work out last time. Will it work out this time? Really gets forced out wide. He keeps his foot in it, gets across the nose of Christian Fengler. Milestone finally able to get past the BMW. Now needs to really close down the distance for Christian. Let's keep on the toe and see if he can pull a little bit closer to Lewis Knight up the road. Skitter continues his fight with Spritzer. David Young right behind him, trying to close up the distance as Finley Gamble is our first driver to have completed all the pit stops with an hour and 14 minutes to go. It's going to be a long race for Finley Gamble, the 2ID team, to go and make his way around the track and ensure that it has enough fuel to see it through to the end, especially after the hard impact he had at the top of the mountain. That was a reason why he had to go into the pits. The others have been minor mishaps that's gone and cast it into the dirt. He's opted to get those pit stops done. Skitter trying to go side by side against the likes of Spritzer. Really tries his luck. Now has the advantage through the right-hander. Has he got the drive? Gamble into the pit lane yet again, but it is going to be Spritzer trying his luck. Little bit of elbow to elbow with Sean Skitter as they make their way around. Spritzer saying, well, you got me there, buddy. Go on ahead. You're not my concern. Henry Platt's my concern. Bring me a bit closer to him. David Young closes up on the back of him as well. So drivers still trying to figure out what can they do as we got a yellow flag for the 48. This shows a little bit of what happened to Finley Gamble and one of the reasons why he landed up in pit lane. This is a climb up the hill, trying to bring it all back together. And straight on into the wall. Couldn't quite turn. And that was a monster impact into the wall. And the reason why he had to get towed back to the pits. No catching Joey the Kangaroo. That was a car bounced in the air and sent into the wall. As contact between Daniel Mutsuma and Nicholas Porras. And it looks like Jason Farmer landing up with that. Daniel turned wrong way around, looking around a blind corner. Will have to wait for Ruan Heineke and now twist himself back into check. And that is not what he wanted to have as he loses possessions. Flowscup, Milestone, all have now got an advantage over Daniel Mutsuma. Jason Farmer got caught with a light contact. Nothing much after seeing the yellow flags there, but just enough to scrape the paint off the car. And Nicholas, who holds on to 14th position, will be going and saying, well, that didn't quite work to plan, but I need to catch up to Finn van Hollen up the road at the moment. So races still on. Drivers at the ready. Really trying to dial it in. As Ulrich Diaga sees, Henry Platt got it absolutely sideways. He's able to bring it back, but that's going to allow Sean Skitter to close the distance. And Ulrich Diaga got a beautiful side of a Bentley going absolutely all kinds of wrong, and now will be keeping the pressure from Sean Skitter. Remember, his tires are going to be on the warmer side of things, so Henry Platt is going to have to take that little bit of caution to try and bring things back into check for himself, with now Sean Skitter on the back of him. Flowscup trying his best with the likes of Finn van Hollen, unfortunately losing out that position, and will look to carry on the drive. It's going to be all or nothing to claw their way in for the fight. And Flowscup, Finn van Hollen really trying absolutely everything they can at this current stage of the game. Jace Farmer keeps the pressure on Nicholas Porras in the background and wants to try and clear through. Remember, Jason Farmer is the first of those who have done their first pit stop. So he took that earlier stop to see if it's going to work out. He was followed by Ruan Heineke. He was followed by the likes of Ulrich Diaga. Bego Kobler was forced to pit after the major damage to his car after missing it down the Conrad Straight, catching into the back, into the door of Milestone. Sean Skitter looks towards the inside of Henry Platt. Couldn't quite get that pass done. Henry down the hill, a little bit more comfortable. Late on the brakes, is able to settle the rear of that Bentley down. Well, Sean Skitter fights with a bit of tyre wear, starting to build up on his car, taking a bit of a shallow line through the corner, seeing if he can get the nose forward, but that's going and compromising his exits, allowing Martin Spritzer and David Young to close up the distance between them. So the drivers doing everything they can as we jump on board with the likes of Sean Skitter. You can see how he is desperately holding on to Henry Platt. Goes out wide, down the Conrad Straight, through the kink, and now it's late on the brakes, down to third, down to second, really keeping everything he can. Limburg's taking the fastest lap time of the race, will capture the fastest lap time point that he needs for the championship. Rafa down to third is 2.1 seconds off the back of Limburg. So Limburg's trying to capture every point he can. Remember, if he can beat out Peterson and hold the fastest lap time, there is a chance that he can walk away with the championship. But he needs Peterson to fall out of the top 3 to ensure he can secure that victory. As we do see Henry Platt, a little bit of an indicator to show where he's going to be to lift off. And Sean Skitter moves a little bit to the right-hand side. He wasn't close enough to capitalize on the pass, as Henry did go and say, listen, I'm going to give a little bit of room here as you're not my target. But Sean Skitter was just not close enough to make it count, and that's allowed Mon Spritzer to come a little bit closer to them with David Young. So I don't think that favor is going to be allowed again. Daniel Mutsma pulls into pit lane for his first pit stop, and it will be to try and get rid of that 5-second success penalty that he's got for coming third place in the last round. David Young, Mon Spritzer continue on the charge between one another, with Lewis Knight, who holds on to second position at the moment, needs to capture the fastest lap time between the gold division, and at the moment he set the best lap time of a 202.695. David Young with a 202.537. So Lewis Knight does not hold the fastest lap time in the gold division at the moment. He really needs to just dial it in just to try and capture it away from David Young as it stands, if he wants to have that little bit of an opportunity to go for the victory. Skitter closes up to Platt yet again. Spritzer dealing with the likes of David Young behind, as Young now looking to get past, as we do see Henry Platt off into the weeds trying to rejoin. There goes Skitter, but now Martin Spritzer smells blood in the water and sees Platt made a mistake, and can he put a ding in the championship as he pulls David Young a bit closer. Ulrich Diaga minds out of the way to allow the drivers to come through and retakes the racing line just ahead, but Daniel managing to also give a little bit of room to Darius, who gives a quick flash and a thank you for that. Nicholas Porras loses out to Jason Farmer. Finley Gamble back out on circuit. Wonderful to see. He's going to try and get it across the line, allowing the field to come through, but he wants to see this race through to the very bitter end. Nicholas Porras, Jason Farmer are keeping close with one another. Spritzer now sees Henry Platt and is within arm's reach of that big Bentley to go and capture the final win for the Platinum Division for Season 17. And on the back of him, he's got lots and lots of pressure from David Young, who is not looking to yield at this point. He's first in the gold, but he's here to prove a point to the Platinum drivers. If he takes a victory here, he will be moving into the Platinum. And what better way to say I'm coming for you come Season 18 than riding right up against the bumper and showing that you're there for the fight. You're there to move forward, and who is going to stand above all come the end of this race as we head into the last hour and 5 minutes. It has been an incredible one, and drivers are already starting to feel the pain of going that little bit longer. They're starting to feel the wear and tear as the 30 minutes mark will come through, but at that time you're already starting to consider your planning, considering Jason Farmer up to 14th position, and likes of Ruan Heineke is down to 17th position behind Benjamin Till and Nicholas Porras at the moment. Dr. Bean Till is the alternative name for Benjamin Till, and he's a bit of an alias to go and hide away. You know, we've got to make sure that you can't let the fans down sort of approach. Ruan Heineke in 17th, closing down on Benjamin Till. These two know each other from South African League Racing and here at ERA, and Heineke is going to put his nose in. Couldn't quite get the pass through the kink, and will wait out that little bit more to try and get the charge. Heineke managing just to get ahead of Dr. Bean, and that's Benjamin Till. David Young holds on to the back of Martin Spritzer, not trying to get by just as yet, and just trying to watch those lines, and it looks like he is just keeping within the toe. I've got a funny little feeling that he's actually lifting ever so slightly to allow the likes of Monspritzer to pull him along, see if he can stretch open the fuel per lap, give himself a little bit more room to play with for the pit stop strategies, for possibly an overcut to come into play. Now, if he can hold back Lewis Knight in the 8-second gap, that's going to help him out. But if he can break away to 10 seconds, that mitigates that 10-second stop hold success penalty he's got to deal with. And at the moment, he just needs 2 seconds. He needs 2 seconds away from Lewis Knight to ensure that he gets rid of that 10 seconds and it's a normal pit stop for him to be able to fight it out down to the wire. So lots of gambling situations. Now drivers trying to think of what's best for them. Henry Platt opening a 2.3 second gap to Martin Spritzer, who holds on to second place. Limburgs holds the fastest lap time of the race with a 2:01.2, with Christoph Peterson doing a 2:01.4, Rafa a 2:01.5, Darius a 2:01.3. Darius trying his absolute best. He's got Rafa just ahead of him. As you can see, Daniel Mutsma kind of rounding the corner, continuing on his charge on the way through as well. David Young, once again, looked for an inside. No way to get past as yet. And every single one of these drivers considering their options of what they can do. And a big move coming in here. Nicholas Paris into the pits, getting his first pit stop out of the way, hoping that he can try and launch his way through the field. And obviously taking the gamble because Jason Farmer's cleared past him. Ruben Heineke will clear past. Where is Bega Krobler going to come out in the mix as well? And for Nicholas, this is an opportunity to move up through the order and possibly undercut the rest of the gold field up ahead. So he's taking a bit of a risky move right now, but needs to do something to just try and mitigate any damage limitations here, to try and see what's going to work out for him. Finley Gamble's been in the pits 3 times with damage unfortunately coming into play. Ulrich Diaga twice, but still needs to do his final pit stop. One was for a stop hold 32nd for speeding in pit lane. Daniel Mutsma has completed his first stop along with Bego Krobler. That was due to damage to the car after piling into the side of Milestone off the bat, and trying to see where he finishes up in it all. Benjamin Till in a bit of no man's land at the moment, yet to do any of his stops. Will be considering his options at the moment. David Young trying to close up to Martin Spritzer. Look for the inside line. Can't quite get the pass. Martin going out a little bit wide. See where he can keep the momentum going. As drivers moving their way through. David Young, Martin Spritzer, once again trying to close up the gap to Henry Platt. He's caught up to Sean Skitter. Now we saw a little bit earlier, he was trying to give Sean Skitter an opportunity to get past him, and it wasn't quite working out. Now, Sean Skitter sees it charging. Likes of Henry Platt behind him. Is he going to back out? Flo Scub pulling in, sorry, that's Finn Holland that pulls into the pits. He's going to get his first pit stop out of the way and look to try and charge his way through the field. He's reacting to the likes of Nicholas Porras and Ulrich de Jager. They've both done their first stop. Benjamin Till, he doesn't have to worry about because Benjamin still has 2 stops to deal with. But Christian Fengler, Lewis Knight, and David Young have both, or all of them, have got that extra stop they need to do. Jason Farmer, big look on the inside of Flo Scub as he lurks to try and get past the Ferrari, out dragging the Porsche on the way through. And the Los Pantos Hermanos is going to give the Griffin Sim Racing a run for his money. Flo Scub going to fight it out, both leaning on each other. Beautifully done. Both having a clean run up the hill, no contact. And what skill coming in from both drivers. Flo having to back out at the last. But man, oh man, very well done. There's a bit of writing on the back of Los Pantos Hermanos car. Let's see if we can take a look at what's happening, as this is a tribute livery. for his final full season of ACC racing. He'll come and race, but he is no longer going to be spending as much time in the sim as he transitions over to LMU. So he wanted to give a very special goodbye to his full run seasons. You can see the kangaroo on the side. A goodbye to Assetto Corsa Competizione. We'll see you a little bit on as Evolution Racing Academy looking towards the future. He's got the kangaroo on the side. If it was a Ford Mustang, the kangaroo will be on the nose. Ooh, a little too early to say that one. Darn, Steve, that's a little too early to have. Christoph Pearson, Ernest Limburgs, and Rafa currently hold on to the top 3 for our Diamond division. For our Platinum, it is the likes of Henry Platt and Martin Spritzer in second place. Third, Miles Stone. A great recovery on his part after getting speared at the end of the Conrad Straight. He's up into third. He's got Lewis 9, David Young to contend with before he gets onto the back of where he needs to be. Christian Fengler will be holding on to third from our Gold division, and he has got Lewis Knight further up the road, and David Young is putting the pressure on Martin Spritzer, leads out the Gold division. But those that have done their first stop is Finn van Hollen, who leads out for the Gold division. For the Diamond division, it's Jason Farmer up into 12th. That has managed to complete his first stop in for the Diamond division, so he's really trying that a little bit further. And Daniel Mutsuma is first of the Platinums. He's a little bit further down the order, but taking a very unprecedented move as now we're into the final hour of the race. So far, the drivers have been battling it out for 32 minutes and starting to feel that wear and tear. Now, for anyone that thinks that sim racing is easy and you don't get tired, well, put it this way. Have you ever spent a day staring into your screen at work and you're just focusing on that project? Whether you're in accounting, whether you're programming, or you're just sending those emails and you're staring at the screen, your eyes starting to feel like they're burning. You just trying to remain focused. The words land up looking like ants running around. Well, this is what happens in the world of sim racing, because there's so many flashing images coming at you and your brain is having to process everything that's coming through in milliseconds, faster than milliseconds. It's trying to process all the information that's coming through at the time from each of the different color sources, each of the different flashes happening all over the screen, and you having to think about where you need to be, where you're on circuit. Tell the brain, listen, this is what's happening. Your brain then going and getting the information from the vibrational feedback in through your hands, through the steering wheel, through the frame, through the pedals. These all have different motors, different parts that drive us to create a bit more immersion, but at the same time give some feedback, which in a normal car you usually drive by the seat of your pants. That feeling that comes through the entirety of the car into your seat. Now as a sim racer, you have to transition all those feelings of G-forces as vibrational feels in your hands and sometimes in your feet. It makes things rather tricky, but it requires a different way of thinking for the brain to switch and say, okay, this is what's going on. The drivers also working what we call with load cells. Those are some very hard brakes, harder than what you have in your normal car, and that requires you to build up that little bit of muscle memory. But in turn, it's like pushing up against a wall and really trying to get going. So if you want to have a bit of a feeling to that, a general load cell, and I'm talking about on your cheaper side of things, take a tennis ball, a very hard tennis ball, put it up against the wall and go and squish it with your left leg the whole time. Push it all the way in, move all the way out, all the way in, move it all the way out, creating that straightening of the knee and bending of the knee. You'll start to feel in the ankle that will start to get a little bit of pain, depending on if you're pushing with your toes or if you're pushing with your heel, and you'll start to feel the pressure in your knee as well. The buildup of lactic acid will go into your calf, into your thigh, and that will start to eat away at you as well. So that pain, that muscle ache will start to generate. Also, we've got force feedback coming through the steering wheel, and that will be fighting against you every which way. Even though it's minute in some cases, it's the pressure on the wrists that start to get you. That's squeezing into the steering wheel. You start to feel it in your fingers that you're tightening up, that pins and needles, because you just need to try and release the steering wheel to get that little bit of, let's go, let's carry on the race and see where we move forward. As Finley Gamble landing up into the dirt, already starting to feel the wear and tear. But talking about the human element to driving, that is the critical factors that every single one of these competitors are going to be feeling. As Christoph Peterson trying to utilize a tow off one of our Porsches, and that is the number 95, trying to keep going. Nicholas Porras giving a little bit of a lift and allowing the likes of Ernest Bergs and Christoph Peterson to come out, and this is 79, apologies, as both of them trying to move forward. Bagel Robler allows Rafa to clear on past, but Limburg's now closer to Peterson, will be charging his way through. Remember, Peterson needs a 5-second gap to the rest of his field. Limburgs keeps capturing the fastest lap time away. That means it's a point away from Peterson. Peterson's got 5 seconds he has to sit in the pits extra when he does his pit stop, and that is going to take a bit of an impact. Finn Van Hollen and Benjamin Till will be fighting it out up the hill. Benjamin Till in the BMW, looking to keep ahead of Finn Van Hollen, who is really hunting his way around. The Windrush Racing team cheering on from the sidelines here for the gold division. Sees Benjamin Till and wants to capture 4th place, but it's going to be hard work to get a pass up through the mountain. A little dab of the brakes on the way through towards the BP corner. Now through into McPhillamys Park towards Skyline. You gotta keep it all together. Feather the throttle through and don't get caught out. David Young not able to pass Martin Spritzer as yet. Opened up an 8-second gap to Lewis Knight, 8.7. But Martin runs out wide. And here comes David Young. Looks around the outside. Couldn't quite get it done. Has to tuck back in behind Martin Spritzer. He really had a big look around, but couldn't quite get it done. And a big call coming in. Jason Farmer into the pits to complete his final pit stop of the race from 12th position. Is this the gamble that he is going for? I know Antonio Gamble would be going and saying, right, game on, foot flat, let's go. For Ruben Heineke, he'll be getting told from the family, go, go, go. Farmer's in the pits. Time to get ahead of him and show that the Griffin Sim Racing team why you are the quickest of the drivers. There is so many developments happening here, so many different ideas. But from 1st to 12th, drivers have not gone into the pits even once, where everyone from 13th below have all done at least one stop and now look to see it through towards the end. Limburg's 0.8 of a second on Peterson, trying to close up the gap, and this is a fight for the championship, folks. If Peterson gets it out of shape and falls out of the top 3, he is done, dusted, and gone, and will lose his 9th opportunity at the crowd, and the streak would be broken by Limburgs and Rafa. Finn Van Hollen and Benjamin Till will see these two hauling up behind them, but don't think it's going to be easy for our blue flag drivers, because they are in a fight of their own. And this is where you stop looking in your rearview mirror, you start looking at what's ahead of you and contending with what's around you, not wanting to be caught out, not wanting to lose out the time. And for Benjamin Till, Finn Van Hollen is a viable threat for the podium spots. If they get ahead of Hengler, Lewis Knight and Young, well, Finn Van Hollen and Benjamin Till will be looking to try and take the checkered flag away from them. And considering both drivers have done their first stop, they are a leg above the rest of their competitors. So wild moments coming in for ERA for season 17, our final round here at Bathurst, and 50 minutes to go. Drivers in their longest race of the season, an hour and 30 minutes to go and push a little bit more in conditions that coming to the track, literally on the day, on the grid, for the very first time on the grid. That is when they found out, whoops, there's no rain. The temperature's at 23. It's at optimum. There's a lot of grip. Hang on. Didn't quite plan for this. Ulrich Diaga onto the back of Daniel Mutzler, and you can see the BMW just bouncing around at the moment, trying to catch up to the McLaren up ahead. Both drivers still need to do their final stop, as Finley Gamble has done their final stop. Jason Farmer is up into 16th position, has completed all he stopped, and is the one of two drivers that has done that and is looking to take the Gamble approach and see if he can finish ahead of the pack. So a bit of a late call for Jason Farmer, and if it's going to work out, it's going to be a definite deep breath, send it moment. Jason Farmer is 10th in the championship. He's missed out scoring points at Suzuka, Spa, and Donington, but looking to be the joker card here for the championship. Lewis Knight into the pits, along with Henry Platt into the pits as well. They trying to get their stops sorted out. Ulrich Diaga into the pits, as we do see Finley Gamble, unfortunately, weighing out his time. That's Dr. Bean. Oh, Benjamin Till eating the wall. The 337 car going and having a hard time. Let's go to Tim in the Helicam here. He was finding out against Finn van Holland. The Windrush Racing team kept it pretty honest. Kept it tight, got on the power, and just a rotation, thud into the wall, and unfortunately had to wait for the entirety of the field to come through to try and reverse and get that car turned around. He's able to get it going, but you can see the damage that has been built up on that BMW, and for a Team Wolf, that is not what they want to have. That little puppy is definitely limping. Big talking points now. Limburg's ahead of Peterson, and Peterson looking a little bit worn out with his car. What on earth happened to our defending champion? This is a big mistake that's come in for Peterson, who is looking to be a 9-time champion. Through Skyline, on the way through. Did he get out of shape? He did. He lost control of the car. Big impact into the wall. And Limburgs comes on by. You can see the whole rear wing out of shape. Jason Farmer nearly went into the back of him as well. And Christoph Peterson has had a nightmare affair. And that's not just the only one where it went wrong for him. This is down the Conrad Straight. This is Peterson possibly losing his championship. The 8-time, going 9-time defending champion, trying to control, loses the car yet again into the wall, and this has now thrown the championship into disrepair. Can he get that car out of the circuit? Because at the moment, Rafa leads out, and we have seen the likes of Limburgs into the pits. He saw the accident. He's going for it. Is this going to be Limburg's time to finally capture the championship that has eluded him? Last time he was as close. It was a single point between them. Rafa, who made his return to ERA, is now in for the chance. Absolutely booting it through. He wants to make it work to run for the championship in the Diamond Division. The streak is going to be broken unless Christoph can pull a rabbit out of the hat. And the mistake wasn't because of any contact. The mistake wasn't because any backmarker was around. The pressure got to the German. And unfortunately, Bathurst wanted blood, and it called for it. Skulls for the skull throne, blood for the blood gods, parts from a Mercedes on the way down. What a run, what a rush, and this is something that so far so many people have been waiting to see if the streak can be broken, and it's now on the cards. Begor Grobler and Nicholas Paris are chasing each other down. Jason Farmer into 15th has completed all his stops as we see Rafa into the pits. He's trying to get the run up on this man over here. Limburgs, that's on the go right now. Peterson falls down. He's still got repair. He's still working on the car. And is finally out of pit lane. But folks, what we have just witnessed, Christoph Peterson, an 8-time defending champion, has lost the crown if he can't get back into the top 3, this is him out of the running. This is him gone out of the championship. Rafa into pit lane, keeps an eye on this man here, coming through the final corner. The race is on between Limburgs and Rafa to capture the crown. Who is going to be the driver to break the streak? Rafa still in pits, Christian Fengler into the pits, Ruben Heineke into the pits, David Young on the back of Martin Spritzer as they run 3rd and 2nd with Sean Skitter in 1st. Wow, wow, wow. What a moment we are witnessing. History at the making, folks. Don't go anywhere. Milestone is on the run to try and close the difference between them, but it's David Young who's still got a 10-second success penalty he still needs to serve. Milestone has got a 15-second success penalty to serve. Martin Spritz has got no penalties to serve. So has Sean Skitter, and these are the only 4 drivers in the top 5 that need to do their first of the stops. Flo Scup in 7th position needs to do 1 stop to at least count that he is with the rest of the pack. However, is clawing his way through here. Christian Fengler and Ruben Heineke into pit lane, with Heineke leaving for the Griffin Sim Racing team. Will be smiling ear to ear because what he has done has really jumped up the order, because he is the first of the cars that have completed all the pit stop. He's got Finn Van Holland behind him, Christian Fengler behind that, and his teammate that took the earliest stop between them now is in for the run. Jason Farmer has yet to finish behind Ruben Heineke in a fair fight, and it looks like Heineke is going to do exactly that. From fighting at Sarko, fighting at Raceface, fighting at ERA and Project Vapor, he has gone and taken it to the top. This is madness, folks. Sean Skitter and Miles Stone finding out. I'm getting muddled in my words. I'm having so much fun. This is great. As we see Jason Farmer and Christian Fengler all over the back of one another, pushing that little bit more. 42 minutes remain of this race, and we are witnessing history in the making, and drivers looking to stamp their name in history for season 17. And this is a huge, huge run. I can't even explain to you how big of a moment it is to see an 8-time champion making such a critical error. Something that we do know, this circuit has always been in favor of Christoph Peterson. He has always taken victories. He's always been comfortable and always stood on the top. This is the first time that Bathurst decided enough was enough. Oh, and contact between Fengler. 360, and got it going. I would say 7 out of 10. Jason Farmer on that rotation. Execution, great. Oh, except for the ending into the wall. I was, I think, a little bit out of touch there. So, unfortunately, caught in the wall, and we'll have to wait for the field to come through. Kept it going. Couldn't get the steering, and that little catch against the wall took the Griffin Sim Racing driver into a tip and turn. Well, Nicholas and Bego Krobler continue their way through, with Nicholas keeping the pressure on Johan Bego Krobler, the South African, taking on the Frenchman, and Nicholas is just biding his time, waiting for his opportunity to get that pass done and dusted. Spritzer and Young into the pits. Limburgs charging his way by. Now needs to keep his head firmly screwed on. The last time he had this opportunity to walk away for the championship, the last seasons where he's been this close, pressure has built up behind him. The gremlin in the back of the head started saying, what if? What if? What if? Running through. He needs to cast it aside. Forget what has happened. The times that he has fought so hard just to have it snatched at the end. Now needs to aim for the run here. Darius into second place, as I'm trying to keep an eye out where Rafa is, who is in 4th position at the moment. Rafa needs to get ahead of Limburgs if he wants to take the victory here. Rafa needs to get ahead of Limburgs. This is going to be mental. This is going to be absolutely mental, folks. We're going to try and give you a blow-by-blow of how many points they're going to play with here. But at the moment, Limburgs needs a solid victory to get ahead. He's on 79 points. Rafa's on 82 points, with Peterson on 83 points. So for Rafa, if he gets a victory above Limburgs, there's no way of Limburgs winning this. Absolutely none. But if Limburgs can stay in first place with Darius in second, that throws Rafa cleanly out of the championship and losing out right at the wire. Now, for what Peterson can do, because don't count him out, he's just done it. Peterson can play the Joker card by taking away that fastest lap, which is oh so crucial, because if Rafa gets into second place, he will carry enough points forward to keep ahead of Limburgs right at the line. What Peterson has done is he has literally cleared the table. He has exiled all the cards on the table by taking away that fastest lap and left it in the hands of Rafa and Limburgs. With Darius, remember when I said at the beginning, is the Joker card in this fight. Darius, at the moment, is the linchpin between the champions, future champions. Peterson's out of it at the moment. He can try and make a final pit stop to jump him up through the order and hope that the others make critical mistakes. But remember, oh no, Peterson into the wall! Peterson into the wall again! Oh, it's all going wrong for the madman. It's all going wrong. The German mafia has finally met its match. Bathurst is tearing him apart. Oh, the humanity coming in. And what a blow. And at the same time, it's excitement. It's madness. When we had an interview with him in the last race, last week, he said he's looking to take the victory again, but he's looking forward to someone being able to dethrone him. And I don't think this is the way he wanted to have it happen to him. Finn van Hollen slow out of the exit. Now has Christian Fengler trying to come on by. Christian tries to go late on the brake. Finn van Hollen not quite getting too much acceleration out. And Christian now hangs on the back of that Porsche. David Young and Lewis Knight. Now let's also talk about this situation right here. This big problem right now. And that is David Young and Lewis Knight. Remember, the winner of these two will dictate who wins the championship. So far, David Young has got the fastest lap for the gold division with a 2-minute 2.230. And he currently holds on to that with every fiber of his being ahead of Lewis Knight. But that doesn't give him the win. He needs to beat Lewis Knight in the points. He has to hold the fastest lap and beat Lewis Knight down into third place to go for it. Rafa up against Flo Scub, going and getting past, now into third place. Flo Scub down into fourth. Remember, Flo is not in the fight for the championships here in the Platinum Division. It's left up to Henry Platt, who currently leads out ahead of Miles Stone, who's down in 10th position. Miles Stone has to get past Martin Spritzer, who is still fighting it out there as Scub pulls into the pits. It's now or never for our drivers to go that extra mile. Who's got enough in the tank? Ulrich de Jager into the weeds, trying to pull himself back, as we do have a retirement from the drivers, and that possibly looks like it might have been Flo Scub who retired the car. No, it isn't Flo Scub, sorry. It was our 2ID team that have gone out, and we're down to 20 cars. So unfortunately, we have had one retirement. David Young and Lewis Knight fighting tooth and nail with one another. Flash the lights to Benjamin Till further up the road, saying, come on, please don't do this to us. We're in a fight for the championship. As Christoph Peterson trying to make his way back through the field has got Nicholas Porras, who is currently lying fifth in the gold division. Christoph Peterson trying to recover anything at this point for his division. You can see he's not hunting for lines at the moment. He's trying his utmost best not to interfere too much, but he wants to try and clear through it all and just see, maybe, just maybe, can he get the pass and try and close up Tobago Krobler further up the road. There you go. Just in that Mustang as Nicholas defends the inside line, forces Christoph to go off the apex, and now losing a little bit of drive up the hill. We are seeing everything come down to the wire as Benjamin Till will be one to dictate how this championship's going to go. Our gold division, Lewis Knight and David Young. Whoever comes first between these two literally take the win. Lewis Knight, who doesn't hold the fastest lap time of the race for his division, has got to keep it going. As Benjamin Till minds out of the way, he touches dirt, lifts off, he says, go guys, go, have fun out there. Lewis Knight says thank you. David Young going and pulling his hair out at the moment, trying to figure out what does he need to do to go and get ahead of Lewis Knight. What does he need to do to capture the championship? Does Lady Luck sit in his pit right now, and does he have enough to go that extra mile? It is madness, folks. It's madness. And talking about madness, take a look in 4th place, because we got Sean Skitter catching up to Rafa. If Sean Skitter gets past Rafa, that's it. Rafa is done. Done, dusted. Championship gone out of his hands and can't even fight for it. So he needs to ensure that he tries to close up to Darius and keeps Sean Skitter at bay. Everyone has got one more stop to go, barring one driver, Rune Heineke, who is sitting in 11th position at the moment, leading out those that have done all their pit stops. Farmer, Mutsma, Benjamin Till, Ulrich de Jager, all have done their pit stops, with Christoph Peterson holding the fastest lap time of the race, away from Limburgs, away from Rafa. These ensuring that the fight between them is purely based on who beats who. There's no advantage of the fastest lap between them. Henry Platt, if he gets the victory here tonight, ahead of Miles Stone, who's 4th. Henry Platt on his debut here at ERA in the last season of the Bentley for the Moscow Motorsport team. He is looking to upset the apple cart tremendously in Platinum, and this is what it's come down to. Just pressure, madness, mental. 32 minutes to go. Final race here at Bathurst for season 17 of the ERA Sunday Championship, and we are watching streaks. And I'm not saying streak, I'm talking about streaks removed, as Rafa sets the fastest lap time of the race. He now holds a point in his favor. Rafa holds a point in his favor at the moment, running down to the wire. Oh boy, oh my, oh Mary, oh my. Where are we all going to finish out here, folks? Because this is turning into a race of note. And drivers looking to push forward that little bit more. Now, I'm going to try and investigate just something in points to get an understanding between Rafa and Limburgs, to just try and see how many points is needed to understand if Rafa holds on to this. Is he going to be able to keep moving forward? Oh, man, this is absolutely falling through it all. Drivers guessing at this point of who's going to be able to take a victory, and I can tell you it is silent, absolute silence in amongst the driver chats and radio comms. It is just focusing at this point. Each of the drivers trying to think of what can they do to really go that extra mile. Where can they make up the time, and how far are they willing to go? This is a moment that could make or break championships at a rate of knots. And I do want to point out, I've got the championship points, folks. We're going to work this out. So Rafa at the moment is holding on. Well, he held on to the fastest lap. Ernest Limburgs takes that away from him. But it's 18 points if you come in first, plus 1 point for the fastest lap. Limburgs, who currently sits on 79 points, will score 98 points if he finishes where he is. Rafa at the moment who is trying to claw his way back into the fight. He's on 82 points, and coming in second will get 16 points in his favor. He'll finish on 98 points. So Rafa is still in there. There will be a tie, an absolute tie at the moment. If Limburgs doesn't hold on to this fastest lap, he loses out, having a sole hold on the championship. The streak will be broken and tied between drivers. And that is unheard of in the Diamond Division. Absolutely unheard of. So for Limburgs, the critical thing he needs right now is to hold the fastest lap time of the race. For Rafa, he needs to get that fastest lap time, or for Christoph to hold that fastest lap time. Someone other than Limburgs to hold that to get the victory. That is where we're at, folks. And I kid you not, in ERA 17 seasons, we are never at this point for our Diamond Division that it's come down to a single point to sway in the favor. And if Limburgs is able to hold on to it, well, we got a victory on hand. For Lewis Knight and David Young, who are fighting out, they're also separated by a point in their championship. And they are fighting tooth and nail at the moment. Sorry, 2 points in the championship. David Young needs to finish ahead of Lewis Knight and score the fastest lap time of the race for the gold division to take the championship away from Lewis Knight. At the moment, he has completed one of the two criteria. He holds the fastest lap time of the race, but now needs to beat Lewis Knight with 27 minutes to go. This is how close we are to the big sway. Young needs to finish ahead. He's got that fastest lap time, but now needs to keep going. If anyone in the gold, anyone gets that fastest lap time away from him, that's it. He's done. He's out. He's finished. This is mental, folks. I can't even tell you the pressure that comes in, and just taking a look at it. The sector times from our drivers pushing that a little bit more. You can also see the BOP into effect as well between the drivers is playing into the favor of some of the cars. Flow Cup loses out to Milestone, and now Milestone is in a critical way because Henry Platt is holding on to first. Henry will score 18 points at the moment, and he holds a fastest lap time of a 2:01.2. So he's got that single point playing in his favor as well. But with Milestone starting to climb up through the order, it's going to play into Miles's hand here, because Milestone is on 64 points and currently holds on to third place. So for Milestone, in third, will score 14 points in his favor. He'll get 78 points. As he'll get 78 points. Henry Platt, who leads out, is on 55 points. Plus, he has the fastest lap time of the race. Plus, will get 18. Will have 74 points. This is where it's getting wild. This is where Milestone is still in it. He is absolutely still in it to go that extra mile. And on 78 points, it's all or nothing to play for. It'll be a 4-point difference unless Milestone falls behind Flo Scud, which will take him down to 4th position. And that 64 points will then be, that 14 will be removed and it'll be to 12 points only, where you'll get 76. If Daniel Mutsuma comes into play, that's it. So for Henry Platt, he's in a bit of a hard work right now by Milestone just finishing. By just getting to the end, will be looking to take the championship away, but anything is on the cards at the moment, as we've seen. David Young hunts down Lewis Knight, trying to complete one of the two criteria that he's got. He's got the fastest lap, but now needs to really dig that little bit deeper. For Platt, there's all or nothing to move forward, and is at the mercy of Milestone making a mistake. Flo Scub dealing with Ruin Heineke on the back of him. Ruin Heineke trying everything he can to move into that top 10. Flo Scub in his final full season outing in ACC wants to take this Porsche, the Los Pontos Hermanos ACC tribute livery, across the line and looking to have a lot of fun there. Heineke leads out those that have completed all their pit stops, with Bagel Krobler and Christoph Peterson now trying to also make their claw through. The fight still remains on between drivers. Everyone looking to go that little bit more. And who is going to stay in for the fight for Platt at the moment? Here's a little bit of a nightmare situation, unable to go for that first place unless something happens to Milestone yet again, and Lady Luck walks away from Milestone's pit. Back on air once again, getting a little bit of a refresh after having that brain working overtime. Now I think my math teacher will be so proud of me that I was able to use a calculator. Woohoo! Lewis Knight has got David Young on the back of him, and David Young still fighting fiercely to try and get that first place away, as we do see a problem coming in for Nicholas Porras. He actually slowed up, allowed Sean Skitter to come on by, and we'll then start to see that he's got a bit of problems from Henry Platt closing up the distance. David Young and Lewis Knight continue to fight them between one another. Flo Scub and Ruin Heineke keep within one another. For Limburgs, it is crucial that he walks away with the single point and walks away for it. But chaps, folks, ladies and gentlemen, we just got a downpour. We got an absolute downpour, and that is Benjamin Till mining out of the way, but it is a downpour out on the circuit. This changes everything. This changes the entirety of the race, because this is where slicks are going to fall off and drivers go and battle it out. And you can see Bago Krobler even now trying to keep his Mustang together. For those that have one more stop, this plays in the favor for them. For those that haven't got that one more stop to play for, like Heineke, Farmer, Holland, Porras, Diaga, Mutzman, and Benjamin Till, they have to pull in the pits yet again to switch over the tires, because this little downpour is going to change things up. But it also will sway things in the favor, because the chances of going for the fastest lap is taken away from the drivers. So for Henry Platt, who holds the fastest lap for the Platinum division, there's no way he's going to lose it right now. For Limburgs, there's no way he's going to lose it. And for David Young, there's no way he's going to lose it, as Limburgs into the pits. Darius is going to go that little bit longer. Rafa is going to go that little bit longer. Henry Platt as well going to go that little bit longer. Limburgs in the pit. Skitter into the pit. Martin Spritzer continues on. Lewis Knight into the pit. David Young gonna go that little bit longer. He thought about it, and is going to push that a little bit more. So David Young, taking over the lead of the race, is going to brave the conditions right now in favor. As you can see, a multitude of cars down the Conrad Straight. Bago Krobler's got Daniel Mutzma, Ruin Heineke, and Flo Scub ahead of him. And behind him, he's got Christoph Peterson, keeping very, very close. Heineke going to go that little bit longer with Flo Scub. Bago Krobler dives into the pits. Peterson gonna go that little bit longer into the race as well on his set of tires. This is a dangerous game, folks. This is rolling the dice and seeing whether you get snake eyes, because this can change the outcome of the championship. This, I hate to say it, might actually bring Peterson back into chances of going for the crown. Limburgs is down to 5th place. Remember, for him to win the championship, he has to hold the fastest lap time of the race and come first. He has to beat Rafa. He has to beat Christoph. He has to come first at all costs. It means he cannot finish behind Darius. He cannot finish behind Skitter, Ruin Heineke, Christoph Peterson, Bago Krobler. He has to come first. For Young, he has to come first. He can't finish behind Lewis Knight. He needs to be right up there. For Platt, he needs Milestone to fall behind Daniel Mutsma, which at this point is not gonna happen. He is already, Daniel is a lap down on the likes of Milestone. If Milestone, for whatever reason, disconnects, has a crash, not able to see it through to the end, and Daniel Mutsma can overtake him and get onto the lead lap, that will then bring Platt into championship winning conditions. Ruan Heineke on the back of Flo Scub has got Christoph Peterson, Daniel Mutsma following in that train, as well as Daniel trying to go that little bit longer. Those that are on slicks are risking it right now in hopes that the weather conditions change once again to become more favorable towards the slick tires. However, they are risking going off circuit. As you can see, Heineke going out wide, brakes really late, and just allowing the guys to come through. Milestone into the pits has decided, hold on, hold the phone here, there's a problem here, I need to get this car sorted out. It's a bit too risky to go that little bit longer. Peterson doing exactly the same. This rain's not going to let up. We're going to get into the pits. Daniel Mutsma pulls into pit lane as well, trying to get his car sorted out. Christian Fingler as well. So those that stuck it out a little bit longer in slicks, now saying, it's getting a bit too rough out there. Let's try and see where we can go. For Darius, Souza, Platt, Spritzer, David Young, and Flo Scub, they will all need to do their final pit stop. Are they going to switch over to the rain tyres? Are they going to stay on slicks in hopes that the conditions improve? Remember, with 17 minutes to go, conditions are open and anyone has the opportunity. And if we go to our basic HUD, we haven't got the ability, unfortunately, on that one to see where the conditions are going to fall. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to pull that up. But we do see Ulrich Diaga top of the mountain, keeping it nice and gentle and just trying to get his way through. Unfortunately, big damage to his car, and I think was one that kissed the wall due to the wet weather. And let's see if we can try and take a look at what happened to the 575 driver in the wet. So he was taking the climb up, keeping it all together. Remember, he was out on slicks, so not even on rain tires. And where did it all go wrong? Oh, up through Mafilimi Park, into the wall, up towards Skyline. And that is a car looking very second-hand and in dire need of work. Rafa out on circuit, has yet gone to go into the pits for any change of tires. He is now just trying to drive it through at the moment and trying to keep ahead of this man over here, Limburgs, who has completed all his stops and is out on a fresh set of rain tires. Limburgs holds the fastest lap time of the race, but needs to beat Rafa. Rafa needs to get that last stop done and get ahead of Limburgs. Darius into third place for our Diamond Division. Henry Platt into the pits and now leaving, loses out the position to Sean Skitter. Sean Skitter is part of our Diamond Division, so no impact to the likes of our Platinum, as Henry Platt will come out first, with Mon Spritzer trying to come out second in the Platinum. Flo Scub is waiting to get himself sorted out, and he will be coming out in third place as the last of our remaining drivers that need to do the pit stops, other than this man over here. Rafa trying the absolute gambit of a lifetime. Lewis Knight and David Young, close to one another, have now managed to get themselves out onto the circuit, and with David Young 0.8 of a second back, he needs to get ahead of Lewis Knight. Just one big look, one outbreak to get Lewis Knight behind him means he secures the championship away from Lewis Knight. He needs that pass. Oh, catch it to the wall doesn't help him out there, and he loses out that little bit of time to Lewis Knight, who is just gambling at the moment. He is taking a breath. He is singing Hanumiku in his head, trying to think about what is going to be there. But Baby Metal was playing earlier with the likes of Chocolate, just to go a bit more. If you know those bands,
congratulations, you are cultured in some very interesting music, and from Vocaloid all the way to rock music. Ruin Heineke allows Rafa to come on by. Rafa going that little bit longer in the race. And this is a very big play from Rafa at the moment, ahead of Limburg's. His last lap time was a 2:11. Limburg's is a 2:09. So Rafa is battling to keep the car in check. Did he put a set of wets on his first stop, and has been driving it through in hopes that the conditions would turn to this? If so, man oh man, that would be a drive and a half. But at the moment, he is slow out on the hill and just battling to keep his car in check. I mean, Ruin Heineke has just absolutely clawed up on him. And Heineke, who we know is on a set of wets at the moment, is trying to claw his way in. I mean, Ruin Heineke's times are just getting better and better and better at this stage of the game. He does give a little bit of breathing room, but now Rafa starting to catch up to Benjamin Till up ahead. And you can see Daniel Mutsuma in the mix there with Flo Scup as well, as they carry on through. Jason Farmer into the pits, getting himself sorted. And I do think he's going to be getting on a new, fresh set of boots to try and get his car sorted out. Bagel Krobler and Christoph Peterson continue to fight it out behind Miles Stone. And Christoph has had a nightmare of a race. Championship coming down to this. Unfortunately, heading towards the dipper, it was bang, crash, thud that threw him into disrepair. And Bagel Krobler is looking just to put a bit more pain into it at the moment as he fights his way through. Bagel Krobler currently holds in the diamond, 6th position, so a good score of points here will move him up ahead of the pack, but now needs to try and hold back Christoph Peterson. Sean Skitter doing a wonderful job holding on to 4th place. He's also just keeping it all together, not focusing on losing out any drive, going in a little bit deep into the corners, but you can see a little bit of damage to the nose of that car as he must have bit the wall a few places, and now just trying to deal with it while you can. Milestone fights out Bago and Christoph Peterson as this rain is getting worse and worse for drivers. It is absolutely pouring down. It is getting torrential out there, and it's gone from beautiful, sunny, optimum grip conditions to guys, best pull out your paddle boats and get ready to swim up through the hill. These cars becoming a handful of work. I mean, if we jump on board of Christoph Peterson's car, we'll see exactly that. Gently through the gears, just soaring at the wheel, trying to keep it pointing straight at the moment with Bago just ahead, that spray kicking up. But I also want to take a look at Rafa, who at the moment we're trying to understand where is he running, and I can only think he's gone. His last lap time was 2:11.5 again. Did he decide to run on wet tires longer than the rest of the field? Gets on the power, and that rear starting to kick out more and more. I mean, this is a risk here. This is a serious risk. If he is run on wet weather tires in through the dry, there isn't much life left on those things. He is literally going to be turning them into aeroplane tires. He is literally sitting with them getting hammered at this point. Peterson and Krobler all over the back of Milestone and one another continue to try and figure out what they can do to fight it out for 9th, 10th, and 11th position. Looks like Peterson tried to look for the inside line, not as confident under braking. The confidence pulled it from underneath him at this point as Jason Farmer sits in pit lane. I think Jason Farmer has successfully given up the fight in the final race of the season and is now just watching his teammates go around him as Bago Krobler clears Miles Stone. So does Christoph Peterson. Miles Stone trying to claw his way back into contention here. If he remains in 3rd and continues to climb up, he will walk away with the championship ahead of Henry Platt. That being said, Flo Scup finishing up behind him, and Daniel Mutsuma. If those two drivers can get ahead of Milestone, who, catches a wall. Milestone looking a little bit unsteady out there. Steady as she goes, buddy. Steady as she goes, because one monster impact between the two of them ends in a bunch of tears. And I do think Peterson, yes, again, Peterson bit the wall at the top of the hill. And now just trying to bring the car back. Peterson bit the wall again. And it's just been Bathurst taking a bite out of the defending champion. Really hurting at this point. And if you want to talk about a race that has not swayed in his favor, Bathurst is going to be the circuit that killed the streak here in ERA. Christoph Peterson, next time, will not be wearing the number 1 on the car, and now just trying to do everything he can, nearly forcing Milestone off circuit. If Milestone has a crash out now, that's it. That's the end of his championship. Henry Platt gets it. I know Henry's listening in, going, come on, please, somebody, miss a brake marker. Please. He's going to be asking Bago to go and do a spear again. Up against the door, Milestone. Flow Scub clears on past the likes of Christoph Peterson and will be looking to take some of the points away, but it won't be enough to go and force Milestone into second place at this moment. Rafa into the pits. This is crucial. This is crucial because now Limburgs comes on by in through the final corner. 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Limburgs holds the fastest lap time and now takes over the lead of the race. Limburgs has an opportunity that he has been fighting since season 10, going and trying to hold on, to fight for the championships. This will be his moment if he can crack it right. For the likes of Souza, he's got Darius on the back of him to put a little bit of pain in there. If Darius clears through, that is going to be a huge, huge run for Limburgs. Darius, I told you, was the joker card here. And if he gets ahead of Rafa, it's going to be a run. I mean, oh boy. Rafa at the moment. Once again, to remind you all, because we are doing math upon math upon math. Rafa will score 16 points if he comes in second place. Right, 16 points. He is on 82 points right now. So 82 plus 16 gives you 98 points. If he comes second, that means we'll have our first ever diamond tie. But if Darius gets ahead of Rafa, that means Limburgs walks away holding the crown by himself. So for Darius, who has got no involvement in this championship, Darius is 11th in the championship, can be, and there's no other way to say it, the deck that to the likes of Ernest Limburgs. He makes the pass, which, well, is gonna be it. As he tries to fight it out, Rafa goes and gets acceleration by Darius, looked for the pass. He can get the pass done and give Limburgs the opportunity to hold the crown alone. But for whatever reason, if Darius decides, no bro, I hold third, as he goes late under the brakes, Rafa loses out that little bit of drive. Darius into second, helps Limburgs to go and solidify as champion with 5 minutes to go. Rafa needs to clear Darius. Darius needs to fall. This is how it's going. This is mental. This is madness. This is ERA at its finest. Lewis Knight is 7 seconds clear of David Young, which means with 7 seconds, he walks away with a crown for the gold division. It means he's done it. It means he's survived it. Milestone, by finishing in third, will hold the Platinum Championship after getting T-boned in the door from lap 1. And I mean, this is what it's coming down to. The final 5 minutes. A mistake from any one of these drivers changes the entire championship again.
Everyone is on edge. I can tell you, our grandstand is on edge. I can tell you that everyone, the admin's on edge. These drivers that are not even driving, they're on edge. I'm not even sitting on a chair anymore. This is just down to the wire. And drivers giving it their absolute all. This is survival. This is history. This is madness. And now it's turning into a bit of a worse one because Lewis Knight is losing time to David Young. David Young needs to finish ahead of Lewis Knight. He holds the fastest lap time between them. Oh man, this is going all kinds of out of shape right now. Lewis Knight, who's holding on for dear life, is just doing everything he can to work out in the favor for him. Henry Platt loses out to Skitter, but now is just losing more time to Martin Spritzer, who's 21 seconds behind him, but is slowly but surely closing the gap. I think Henry Platt at this moment is just working on surviving. He knows the championship second place is there, and that's not bad. On his debut outing here at ERA, that's a stellar effort for the Moscow the Moscow Motorsport Bentley out on the track. The South African looking to have a great run, but Milestone in third place has got enough. There is enough time for him to finish. Only thing that can throw him down is if he disconnects and Daniel is able to get 2 laps in over the likes of Milestone. That's the only way it's going to happen, that Henry Platt will walk away with the championship. For Flo Scup, he is all over the back of Milestone, continuing to keep that pressure on. If he gets past, it's no major impact to the championship, but for Milestone, the last thing he wants to do is lose crucial points that can go and sway in the favor. I mean, this is mental. 3 minutes left, folks. 3 minutes. And we're about to witness history. We are about to witness what 2026 is throwing in. And I want to point out a big moment coming into play here. Darius is 8 seconds away from Limburgs, and Limburgs is getting out of shape on the mountain. It's starting to come crashing onto him right now that this is all coming to be something he's fought through. He's got to just take a breath, forget about it, focus on the corners. This is what he's been striving for season after season after season, to beat out a rival, to beat out a teammate on a circuit that has absolutely gutted him in the past. Going and showing he is a championship contender at Brands Hatch seasons past. Now has an option to move forward. But if Darius closes the gap and gets ahead of him, Rafa wins. So Darius is that joker card to play with. Ernest Limburgs with 2 minutes to go. Silence befalls the circuit as these drivers take their final breath around.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
And there is the word spoken by Jim over the radio. Leader on the final lap. That is something you love to hear or hate to hear, and it is a moment that drivers need to deal with, as Daniel Mutsuma lost it in the hairpin on the climb. There's Ruin Heineke clearing on pass, and Daniel now stuck in the middle has Benjamin Till, Jason Farmer coming on by. And there is our race leader who gets caught out. He had to slow down hugely, going to try and go wide. And that has brought Darius a little closer into the attack as he's caught by Finn Van Allen and doing everything he can. It was a nightmare case scenario for many of these drivers as they fight their way through. But as we keep an eye out for our race winners, Limburgs, Knight, and Milestone looking to walk away with the championship. All they need to do is just finish a couple of corners. All they need to do is see it through to the end. This is a moment that all 3 drivers have been fighting across 7 rounds for. This is the moment in the pouring rain at Bathurst, in conditions that went from the greatest to the worst, as Jason Farmer lifts
to allow Limburgs to come on through. Down the Conrad Straight, Limburgs has got 4 corners to contend with. He sees Henry Platt ahead of him. Oh, sorry, that's Benjamin Till. But there, 1, 2, and now a little kink into the final corner. Ernest Limburgs has broken the streak and has finally become the ERA Diamond Champion. He has finally broken the streak of Christoph Peterson. Darius in second place cements it because Rafa, who needed that second, needed Darius to finish behind him, will finish in second place. Darius, as the Joker, swayed the crowd in the favor of Limburgs. Skitter comes across. Henry Platt will get second in the championship, but sees the final checkered flag of the race for the Platinum. Martin Spritzer will take second in the Platinum here in round 7. And what a drive on his part. And coming up down to the wire, it was a close fight for the gold. But ladies and gentlemen, the good smile, the great smile, the best smile, the legendary smile, Lewis Knight, your gold ERA champion, across the line, ahead of David Young, who fought till the bitter end. And what a run from them. Bagel Robler will come across the line. Miles Stone will take the victory and become the Platinum Champion here in ERA. And from a T-bone in the door, from the start of the race, it fights it out with Flowscup down to the wire. But Miles Stone will be champion. And they come through side by side. What a send-off of note. Miles did it. And what a race, folks. What a race. Christian Fingler, Christoph Peterson, there he is. The car broken, battered, but fought it out. A valiant champion till the end. I don't know about you guys. I've got tears in my eyes. I have got tears in my eyes. So many times we've seen it come down to the wire with a single point going to it. Across history, we have seen champions fight till the bitter end. And champions just made in the final race. And it's come down to this where it was a fight across. And I can tell you, all 3 classes earned so much respect here tonight amongst each other, amongst the fans, and have proven that this year, with all its topsy-turviness, it's all no way of telling what's to happen, has finally gone and shown. Expect the unexpected. And what a race it was down to the wire. It's been mental. That is mental. We got a couple of drivers to have a chat to us because, oh man, let's talk about this with starting with our gold. And I know it's a driver that if he's not in tears like myself right now, man, the guy's made out of concrete. That's for certain. Let's have a chat to Lewis Knight. The Good Smile Racing team, I think's got the legendary smile. First of all, welcome to the commentary box, Lewis Knight. And it's been a while, but well done on becoming the ERA Gold Champion for Season 17 in the Nissan GTR. You did it! You have done it!
Oh, good lord. I have never been so happy to see a wet race. I have never been so happy to see rain in my life.
I mean,
Holy hell.
Take us through the moment. It was you and Young back and forth. He took the fastest lap of the race, and all he needed to do was beat you, and you guys were neck and neck out there for the championship. What was running through your mind?
I was so distraught, Stephen, because of my quali. I was so distraught because it meant I was actually going to have to push so hard. And I thought I'd messed it up. I thought, like, when he came out of the pits after we stopped for those wet tires, I thought I'd gone in too early. That was it. And he came out 0.5 behind me. And after that, I was like, I just need to do nothing. I need to hold this man up as best as I possibly can. And I guess he must have made a mistake because I watched him one lap be there, and then there was a 3-second gap. And I was just like, I just need to keep this car on track. I just need to keep this Nissan on the track. I've never been so stressed.
He hooked the curb, had the rear slide, and that was all she wrote. But coming into this race, it was do or die. Christian Fengler put the pressure on both you and Young. And now, to see it through to the end, you have finally captured the gold. A driver that has, in the final race, not once, not twice, but 3 times, had it stripped from you. Finally get it. I mean, what's running through the head? Now that you finally hold on to that crown, you hold on to that trophy that you've been fighting not just months, years for.
I don't think Fengler's very happy with me. Because of that send I did on him when Miles and him came together on the final corner. I don't think he's happy with me. And I apologize solely to Christian for that. But I needed to get by him. And as soon as I saw that gap, I was like, I'm going. I'm taking this now. I'll deal with the repercussions later. But I'm so happy to finally have it back, to put the Nissan there. I'm so happy to have it with the Nissan. So fucking happy.
I'm lost for words. What a race out there. Well, you've earned it. You fought for it. You've spent not months, but years for it. But Lewis Knight, as the champion of the gold division, is there anything you want to say to your competitors, to the teams, to the ERA admin team, and as the king of the golds, is there anything you want to say to the petrol heads that cheered you on? And one of them is the likes of Chandler Soup, who went absolutely nuts out there on the grandstands.
I mean, to the guys that I was racing, the Gold Div guys, you have made it one hell of a season, up and down. It has been back and forth. Everyone in that Gold Division everyone deserved to have points. Everyone deserved their places. David, I'm so happy I could have taken that down to the line with you on that final race. Like, I'm so happy we actually fought that out properly. There was no incidents. We took it properly. To the guys at ERA, I can't thank the guys enough. They've been running this for a while. You know, they've done really well to keep it all going. And to the petrol heads, to the guys that come along and watch this crap, I mean, I can't thank them enough. They've done an amazing job. They come and they enjoy it, and as long as they enjoy it, then we'll enjoy it. Yeah.
Well, for the final time this season, and I am so proud to say, Lewis Knight, for the Good Smile Racing team that's, I think, got a legendary smile right now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages, give a round of applause to your gold champion for season 17, your ERA gold champion for season 17, Lewis friggin' Knight!
Cheers, Stephen.
What a moment coming through, folks. What a moment coming through. We've got a couple of drivers to have a chat to, and I want to bring in pretty much a joker card driver that really turned the championship in favor. Before we're going to bring in Flo Scub, who is spending his final outing, full season in ERA ACC. We'll have a chat to him, and then our winners for the second in platinum and our first in our diamond. Actually, let's bring in our second in platinum before we get to Darius. Let's bring in Henry Platt, see if he can have a chat to us on his debut. Henry Platt, welcome to the commentary box. Second in the platinum. How are you feeling after that absolutely mental race?
I'm pretty chuffed after missing the first race of the season, having some bad races as well. I didn't think I deserved to win it, so congrats to Miles. He really did well. We both had like a back and forth in the races, so yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Now let's talk about the one that scared you and unfortunately caught Miles, the spear out of nowhere on lap 1. How are you feeling after seeing Bago Krobler coming hurling at you at a rate of knots?
So yeah, obviously I was starting to turn in. It was all about bad timing because I was starting to turn in and all of a sudden I just saw a massive Mustang in my mirror. So I just kept it straight and then Miles probably never saw him, couldn't do anything, and that's so unlucky. But it did open up the race a bit because we weren't that many that started, and I thought maybe it's a bit unlucky, but that you don't want to win like that. So I'm glad he could claw it back all the way to P3.
Well, it was still a great one, and being that, how are you feeling after the conditions, getting second place? I mean, take us through this season for you as a debut outing here at ERA to go and fight it out for the championship.
No, it was great. I think it's flippin' well run. Like my first season, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen admin and the stream and everything that's this well run. So yeah, thanks to everyone that's part of the organization because it's really great and I really enjoyed the first season. I'll definitely be back for more.
Absolutely wonderful. And Henry, congratulations once again on that second place. What a race. And we can't wait to have you back here at ERA for season 18.
Cool, man. Cheers, Steven.
Henry Platt, who, as you can hear, is a bit worn out after that one, but not as much as this man coming in from the Platinum side, who, well, we got to talk about him getting branded by a Mustang. Milestone, the champion of the Platinum side, who got absolutely pasted in the door in lap 1. How are you feeling? Able to claw it back into the points? 2 points to take the championship. What a mental drive.
Oh my god, bro! The race was just as roller coaster as the whole season for me, honestly. With the events and the things happening, like 2 races ago, I was not even counting myself in the championship, and now like P1, it's like amazing feeling, honestly.
Take us through what was running through your head. The start of the race all looked good. You were fighting it out, and then all of a sudden, you had a Team Wolf Mustang in through the door and branding you. That must have been a fright and a half.
Honestly, I was really looking forward to it because quali was insane. I got just ahead of Platt and Spitzer, so on the start we were like back-to-back top 3 Platt, and I was actually looking forward to it because I've fought Platt before and it's like really fun to actually fight someone really close pace. I knew he was a bit faster in race pace, but in quali dry I got a bit of lucky run and did a good lap to put it on pole, so that point really helped. And then I was looking forward to it, honestly, until Chase. I don't know, I got actually jump scared. I don't even know what happened, honestly. All I saw was I was on the grass. I had like 20 plus seconds damage, and I just tried to rejoin as safely as possible and then just run it on.
Now, with that being said, was the thought running through your brain of, did I just lose this championship? Has it just ended for me, or was it that never give up of, I'm gonna get it. I'm going to scratch and claw and fight for the Platinum Championship?
Honestly, like I didn't think about like it at all. At then, all I was focused on just rejoin and try to like just drive back on track as fast as possible and not to lose as much time. I didn't think about the points right away because for a moment I thought I have too much damage and I'm probably gonna struggle, but thankfully the damage was just making it a bit twitchy and not actually undrivable, so I could still run out my success penalty and try to like keep it ahead of Flo and Matushima to get points.
Well, with that being said, you are now the champion. You've been fighting tooth and nail through the seasons for this one. You've come close more than once. Anything you'd like to say to your competitors, to the teams, to everyone here at ERA, to the critics that you've had over the years going and saying, well, not quite sure you're going to get there, to those that have supported you saying you're going to be that champion? Anything you want to say to everyone out there and all the petrol heads that supported you, rain and shine?
Honestly, it's gonna be like a broken tape, but I say this all the time. The whole reason we are here is thanks to, of course, every driver, week in and week out, just putting in time and putting in the effort to make this like a nice show and enjoy the hobby together. So first of all, it's kudos to the people that are all driving both servers. We have many people just putting in their time and focus on this weekly race just for one race. And of course, the staff, the admin, the coaches, the stewards, they're going to be working overnight probably.
Well,
and amazing for the fans as well, just making this all worth it.
Well, I've got to say, something that you've been waiting for to hear and something that I've been waiting for to say. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give a round of applause. Go and jump up and scream because he's gone the extra mile and is your Platinum Champion for Season 17 here for the ERA Sunday Championship in the Ferrari 296 in the Red Bull colors. It is Miles Stone!
Yeah.
You can hear the excitement. It's absolutely wonderful. Oh, man. Right, we're into the last of our chats here. I'm going to bring in Darius, who was the Joker card in the Diamond division, to come and have a chat to us and just really give his point of view on what went out there. Because Darius, welcome to the commentary box. Second place in the final race of ERA Season 17, and you came in as that Joker card. You were that driver that could have swayed it in two ways. If Rafa got ahead of you and finished in second, there would be a tie in first place in Diamond, which has never happened over the cross 17 seasons. It never happened. But by you finishing in second, you cemented the crown. How was it for you out there, knowing the stakes that the drivers were at, and you were just there to really be the chaos amongst it all?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me back, Mabru. I have been gone for a long time, especially after having my personal Häkkinen moment at Spa and then work getting in the way. So, yeah, I just basically rocked up with like 3 hours of practice, and I was like, maybe if it rains, I can do something, but I haven't practiced in the dry. So I won't be up there. And then qualifying happened, and I'm like, maybe I'm not that slow. And, you know, at the start of the race, I didn't even know how the championship points was, like, you know, distributed. I was just along for the ride at this point. I just wanted to finish the season after missing 2 races and having my my moment at Spa on a high note. And so I just thought, you know what, like, just go have a race and see where you end up. And to be fair, I didn't expect to end up on the podium, despite, or even P2. Like, that comes as a massive surprise to me, because I have to bow down to the 3 guys on the top of the Diamond leaderboards, because that's just pace I cannot do. Like, I'm only good at one thing, and it's driving in the wet, and that's the only thing I excel at. So I kind of hope for the wet patch, but I'm really happy for Limburgs that he, you know, managed to snatch this championship, like on the last race, as such a nail biter. It's also kind of sad to see that Christoph spun it and lost the car. It would have been a more interesting race without that, but then again, this is racing. This stuff happens. And I didn't even know how people were tied up at points, but at one point I had a very frightened Latvian telling me, whatever you do, don't spin. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying not to spin. I'll do my best.
Well, I mean, take us through from sunshine to rain. How was it from a driver's perspective to just have that varying condition for the final race?
Like on the outlook that it might rain, I'm not that opposed to rain. I quite like it. So that wasn't the bad thing for me. The thing was the BMW doesn't like the wet, so I had to do some setup alterations for the car to actually go in the wet, which I felt in the dry because I was losing a lot of performance on the mountain. And, for the first couple of laps, I was actually surprised that the gaps between Peterson, Limburg, Sousa, and me were consistent. They were like changing by a tenth or so, but like for the first 25, 30 minutes, the gaps were constant. And that surprised me like a lot. And I thought to myself, maybe I'm not that slow. But then again, I'm just along for the ride. Let those three take it out amongst them. I'm just here. I'm just along for the ride, basically. And, the possibility of rain, I was always having it in the back of my head. I'm like, if it maybe starts to rain early and it stays on wets, I might have a chance to pull a podium here because I know I couldn't catch Sousa on raw pace. Even with the time penalty, at some point he would have just caught up to me because I would just make too many mistakes after like 19 minutes of avoiding walls like a madman. And so, yeah, this finish comes as a massive surprise to me, to be honest.
Well, I remember having a conversation with you going back many, many months. And you said if you could bring the chaos to the track, you would. And, well, you most certainly did. Anything you want to say to our petrol heads out there, to the competitors, the teams, and everyone here at ERA on your return and for the chaos, for the championship that you've managed to bring, but managed to finish on the podium, second place here at Bathurst for the final round?
No, just wanted to say I'm very grateful for all the staff involved. The admins doing all the organization, the stewards putting all of this massive effort into keeping, the race well policed. I want to thank all of the drivers who are competing alongside us, who are giving us great races, who are keeping it clean. And if it goes into a bit of door banging, still keep it fair. Like, I want to thank everyone and the staff involved, especially you and Mudred, doing all the streaming, capturing the races for prosperity, because I can't watch Server 2 while I drive, for example, or the races that I miss. It's great that we have them online on YouTube so we can rewatch them for all the races that we missed. So yeah, I'm extremely grateful for that. That's basically all I wanted to say on the matter.
Absolutely wonderful to have you and looking forward to seeing you for a full season because, well, you showed you can fight for the championship. And Darius, you brought the chaos. Well done, bud. Absolutely.
Thank you,
well done.
thank you, Stephen. They're always happy to help.
Darius, who was the linchpin in the championship. Let's bring in third place in the championship. And, well, I would say the king, the GOAT, and a driver that I think had the biggest run. Christoph Peterson, last race, you and I spoke, and you said you're looking forward to two things: becoming a 9-time champion or seeing someone become a champion and beating you. Not quite the race that you wanted. Take us through what happened out there and the raw emotions that you must be having, because I'm sure there's just a mixture going on in the head.
Yeah, I needed a few minutes of silence to process this because this is of course a very sad way to hand it over after one last pole of the season and it looking really good. But then I reminded myself that it's a good thing to hand the title over, and that this is actually what should happen. Because let's be real, it would be boring if I would win it again. And Ernest has like lost many points in the last 2 seasons with stuff like this, so it's well deserved that he wins it now. And I'm super happy that all of the like 3 titles in server 1 were won by my friends. So it's a good day still, even though I need it. Like, I'm not entirely over it yet.
It's a lot. As an 8-time champion, you've set the bar. And even in the crash, getting into the end, you still had a hold on who won this championship, because at one stage of the game, you held the fastest lap of the race, which then meant it would be 1-point win for Rafa over Ernest if he didn't get that fastest lap time. You literally, from the back of the field by yourself, could have influenced the championship. So not only have we talked about Darius coming into effect, but you still had that ability to make it sway one way or the other. I mean, take us through that moment, that drive back to move forward. And now that you've handing the crown over, I'm sure there's that bite of saying, well, my streak's broken, so time to start a new one.
Well, I mean, I was behind a blue flag when I was on a fastest lap attempt that might have been faster than the 0.7. But that's what happens, you know? Like, then I would have gotten it in the end, because I'm right now second with 1 point behind Ernest. I don't know if you've seen the screenshot yet. It's like he has 98, I have 97, and Rafa has 96. So it's amazing finish, actually. Like 1 point difference on both ends. And yeah, later, like in the second stint after the pit stop, after the crash, I just like all my whole goal was just to overtake Bago. But the dirty air just catches you at the top of the mountain, and especially in the wet. Like, I just didn't practice enough before the race. I had very limited running, and for Mount Panorama, that's just not ideal. Was just kind of trusting my experience and thought maybe it's gonna be fine. But yeah, I guess I was just not really focused enough at that point, so I lost it again. And then, like, I think there was some incident with Bago that might have get him a penalty. Like, there's a possibility, but I'm not close enough to it. So I think I can like say with certainty that this is the final result. And yeah, I don't know. I tried to fix what I could, but in the end, it wasn't meant to be.
Well, before I let you go to have your moment, and I know you're proud of your friends, I know there's a lot of emotion, because when you spoke to me last week, there was that confidence of, well, I'm going for it. I want to carry that legacy forward. But at the same time, you wanted to see people step up to take that mantle, to really give it their absolute all. As the GOAT of ERA, as the 8-time champion, the original ERA streaker, anything you would like to say to all the drivers, to all the teams, to everyone in here at ERA behind the scenes, and more importantly, to all your subjects, the petrol heads that have watched you over the years going and building up such a legacy, and words from one champion to another.
Yeah, I mean, I would have wanted it another way, but in the end, it finally happened, and it's not like I gifted it to anyone. I fought until the last minute and tried to get whatever I could to still retain the championship. So I think Ernest should be proud of what he has done, because he hasn't just taken it, and I wasn't like nerfing myself in any way. So this is like a well-deserved championship, and he can be super, super proud to call himself the first new ERA champion since 2024. Maybe even if you say like that, since 2023. Like it's been a long, long while. And yeah, as always, as I'm saying nearly every week, I'm thanking everyone that's involved in the league, and I'm always hoping for everyone to stay here, even if other leagues or other games are more interesting. I hope everyone comes back at some point and enjoys racing here, because I had fun in every single season so far, and I'm not intending on leaving.
Oh, it's all
And
about
next season will be another fight. So
it's all about the fight back, the climb back up the mountainside, and it's always the hard work. Christoph Peterson, a 8-time, and I'll have to say it because it's true, World ERA Sunday champion, because you have beaten people from across continents 8 times in a row. Christoph Peterson finishing up behind in second place and handing over the reins to his rival, Ernest Lindbergh. Christoph Peterson, thank you so much for joining us. Just Called Nightmare Racing and Fear the Bones driver.
Thank you too.
But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a driver that's been waiting for these very words, who's had it snatched from him by a single point more than once. This is a driver that has, I think, bent his own steering wheel at one stage of the game. At Suzuka, thought it was over and done with. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages, everyone around the world, put your hands together for your Diamond Champion for Season 17 and taking his first ever ERA Championship, Ernest Lindbergh. How are you feeling with that?
If my family wasn't sleeping right now, I would be screaming my lungs out. Thank you, Steven. It feels amazing. I am so relieved to finally have done it. I have finally managed to get the perfect conditions, the perfect season for myself. Pretty much no mistakes all season except for a couple, but overall it truly has been my best season so far, and I'm so happy about it.
I mean, take us through coming into this race. You were third, you qualified second, and now you're in the fight. Darius is the joker card in amongst the championship battle. What was going through your mind at the start?
I mean, yeah, during practice week, I thought I had more pace, but in quali I just couldn't put it quite together. Susan Peterson managed to get that better quali lap, and yeah, I mean, I know the Mercedes is a bit unstable on the mountain, but I mean, it's Peterson we're talking about. He never makes mistakes, and so I wasn't expecting much. And after turn 1, after I managed to get P2 right behind Peterson, I was just, I was just gonna think, I'm settling in. I'm just gonna drive my race. Whatever happens, happens. It's 90 minutes, changeable weather, anything could happen. And yeah, then Peterson spun, unfortunately, on the mountain right in front of me. Thankfully, he didn't take me out. I broke just enough to not be taken along with him. And yeah, then the weather changed, and I was just nursing the car home. I was not taking any risks whatsoever. Yeah. Oh my god, amazing.
I mean, to think about how close the championship was, Christoph Peterson held the fastest lap time of the race, which threw you 1 point back, which if in the race you finished, you would have come in second place. But you had Darius, that if he didn't get ahead of Rafa, means that you would have lost out the championship. There was so much going around. Were you aware of the situation of the points playing around so much? While you're in front, you're at the mercy of the field behind you, and you have to walk away with that fastest lap time to get the championship win.
Yeah, I mean, I held the fastest lap for the majority of the race, and then when Sousa got it back from me, and then I saw that the weather was gonna change into rain conditions, I just knew I knew I had to get that fastest lap. So I took a bit of a risk sending it for those couple laps just to get that better lap, but in the end it did pay off. And yeah, thanks for thanks to Darius for keeping it together over the mountain. He really clutched me out there on the today for the championship.
I mean, what a race, what a season. And you've been aiming for this for quite some time. You have finally broken the streak that many have turned around and said was never possible. This is something that, going back a couple of seasons, you at Brands Hatch were showing elbows out, saying, I'm coming for it, has now come full circle. From 2023, as we heard, there hasn't been a new champion, and you've managed to do it 3 years later here at ERA for the ERA Sunday Championship. You managed to break an 8-time streak, heading into 9-time streak in a car that at the beginning of the season, you said, well, it feels good, but I'm not sure about it.
I mean, the Honda is just amazing. Like it can kill you if you're not careful, but for my driving style, it just fits perfectly. Like I am so comfortable with it. Like obviously there are moments like for example in Watkins where I almost lost it a couple of times, but over one lap pace and just general pace and like overall, like it just fits. I don't know what I'm gonna do next season. I'm probably gonna switch, but the Honda has been the greatest car so far, alongside the 488, of course. But yeah, the Honda has given me the championship.
Well, I know that you have been chomping at the bit. You've been waiting to hear it. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please all stand up and put your hands together as we've got to celebrate your season 17 Diamond Championship winner, Ernest Limburgs of Fear the Bones in the Honda NSX, who has gone and beaten the streak against all odds. Ernest, anything you want to say to the competitors, to the teams, to your rivals out there, to the petrol heads that have seen you climb the mountain and faced adversity time and time and time again, that have been behind you, to the biggest of critics that said, well, we're not quite sure if you're going to be able to do it. You have done it, holding on and claiming the crown off your own teammate. Anything you would like to say, the floor is yours.
Yeah, there's a lot of people to thank. I'm gonna start off with the admin team for setting up this whole championship. It's been an amazing two years that I've driven and competed in this league. I wanna thank you, Steven, for commentating for us for this long of a time. Your commentary just has been on point, amazing. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I want to thank Sousa and Peterson for giving such an exciting season. Like I was not expecting, with the ACC kind of dying off this past year, to still have this high level of competition in this game. It's just amazing. Even if I didn't win today, I would still be like proud of this season. And yeah, thanks Peterson for the setups, of course. And yeah, I wanna thank the viewers for sticking out and supporting this league. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for competing. It's been amazing. Thank you.
And now you can say, you've done it. You're proud of it. Come on. I know that you've been humble.
Yes.
You said to me that when you win it, you're going to go ape nuts. This is your opportunity to do so. You did it.
Yeah, I know. Yes.
Oh, so proud of you,
Oh my
mate.
God.
Absolutely
Oh my
proud
God.
of you.
Thank you, Steven. Thank
Well done. Go and enjoy the celebration. You finally got the clutch. Oh my word, folks, what a season to remember. Going back to the first round, I said, watch this space. We're in for an exciting season. And it has been blow after blow after blow, where it came down to the final race to make it happen. And it showed here tonight. The world's best ACC drivers gave it their absolute all to fight for the honors across 3 different classes. From our diamond, we crown Ernest Lindberghs for breaking a streak that has lasted 8 seasons in a row. For our platinum, we give it to Milestone, who thought life was pretty much done after getting sidelined by a Mustang and was able to go for the victory right at the end after striving so hard for so long and walking away a champion of the platinum. And our gold going to Lewis Knight, who you could hear the joy and excitement of finally getting it right after being robbed 3 times of the championship, and has been striving for it. Folks, here at ERA, there's still so much to come. Take a look at us on Discord, down in the description. We'll love to have you. There's tons of training. There's tons of races coming. As you heard, we got Pitcast coming up with so many news and stories, and with our Masters series that's going to be kicking off very, very soon. We're looking forward to seeing some new champions cross swords against former champions in a variety of challenges. But folks, for the last time of season 17, we'd like to say thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification icon. And for all the drivers out there, for everyone out there, leave a like. Show them the love. Show them what was your favorite moment in the comments of the entire season. What was it for you? And who were you supporting throughout this entire season of madness? We're going to be on a little bit of a break, but we'll be back very, very soon. So keep an eye on the channel. Keep an eye on the social media. And thank you to the entire racing teams out there, to all the drivers, to all the admin staff here in ERA for the countless hours of work they have stuck in to ensure that this becomes one of the best leagues in the world and brings the best drivers in the world. And from myself, Stephen Koenig, from Tim the cameraman, from Jim, our flag marshal, we'd like to say thank you very much. And for the final time of season 17, we'd like to say a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody!